Right. Hello, welcome to the World Cup Live Watch Along. Me and Andy McGregor. We have got Croatia and Belgium on our main screen, and we've got Canada and Morocco on the other screen. Andy just deciding to put his mic on.
That'd be a good start, wouldn't it?
It's been a rocky couple of minutes. People not doing what they should have done. Andy forgetting to put his mic on, but we are there.
Change it at half time.
The camera is on. Croatian fans waving away. We are getting ready to kick off. Ned, be ready when I say go, so that the clock is accurate. Waiting for Anthony Taylor to blow the whistle.
3, 2, 1.
And go.
That's
we are off.
Bingo.
We are off. Underway. Croatia, Belgium, a big game this. But straight away, chance for Croatia. Ooh. Oh my word.
So Kramaric.
8 seconds.
Oh,
Perisic was on his right foot. No wonder he went where.
No.
Drove across the ball. Perisic
Couldn't get the clear.
whizzes wide of Courtois' post. An attempted goal after 8 seconds for Croatia. Fair play. Very direct. It worked. And the ball bounces through for a throw into Croatia. 10 yards inside their own
We've got
half.
Jermaine Jenas on commentary.
Interesting. That's why people have come over here. The Canada game for us will be slightly behind. Just the way we are doing things.
That's iPlayer as well, isn't it?
iPlayer and then through the internet. So the people will be slightly ahead as Croatia break again. He looked offside to me. They're going on. They're inside the penalty area. Still got it.
Touch.
Chance. Good first touch. Got to shoot. Can he?
Pushing it back.
No, it took too long. Belgium have held it up. Modric back in. Cleared. What a good positive start by Croatia in this one.
Now,
Started well here, haven't he?
Belgium like to allow territory, don't they, to a lot of teams, and it's going to bite them if they don't start putting a bit of better structure up in there.
Definitely. If they're just cutting through them.
Structure needs to be better.
You're talking about something that doesn't happen there, and
I'm not saying that, but there you go.
I'm saying it. Ball in. Modric runs into trouble. Belgium are they going to get it clear? No, you give it away again. Modric, what a ball. Chance, Kramaric cuts it back. Oh, that's a terrible ball.
There's been a lot of cutbacks at this World Cup that have been to the wrong man.
Yeah.
Or they've been too slow getting it across. Well, decision making of this World Cup in general has been bad, but...
Which decision making?
Yeah. Obviously, people don't play with each other as often because it's the internationals.
Yeah.
People aren't playing on the systems that suit them. Like
been good games though, haven't they?
Yeah, I think that's why you get good games, because you do get a lot of teams that aren't used to playing with each other. Centre back partners who are not like regular partners.
Here come Belgium.
Players who play at different levels are playing against players who are at better levels.
Yeah.
Obviously, got De Bruyne.
What a player. Croatia
Which
clear.
thinks better passer, him or Messi?
The which?
Who's better passer, De Bruyne or Messi?
De Bruyne.
I think just about De Bruyne.
Just shades it.
Yeah.
Messi, quite clearly a better dribbler. Quite clearly.
Better footballer, but was maybe, yeah.
De Bruyne's incredible, though, isn't he? And has been. What a player. What a player he is. What have you made of Belgium? Because surely...
they're coming to the end of a cycle, aren't they? This should have been the last hurrah, really, where they could get to quarters, semis, given the squad they've got. Obviously, they're still I don't know why Roberto's still relying on Hazard, who's been out of form for like 2 years now. I think still obviously one of the great players the last 10 years, but it's not the same level as he once was.
No.
Lukaku being injured, not great, because you've got to rely on Michy Batshuayi, who's okay, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, just selection issues, and Roberto. I know people often get on Roberto's back. He has took them to quarters and semi-finals, which has been fair, or 2 semi-finals, hasn't he? Which have been fairer than any Belgian team had been before. He was certainly done better than Mark Wilmots, but people may say that the team peaked more under Roberto in terms of the age profile. So.
Yeah, I thought he'd do better. No quarter. Is it 2 semis? Is it?
I think the semi of the World Cup definitely, wasn't it?
Yeah, but wasn't the quarters in the Euro?
Mostly the quarters, but
I know Southgate got a better record, which either puts into perspective Martinez's underperformance, or it puts into perspective people who have a go at Southgate.
I think the way he selected the teams, Martinez, he's still very, very loyal to Vertonghen, Alderweireld, all the usual types of players. But maybe it was time to
freshen it up a bit. I think.
Arthur Thiessen plays for Rennes, or Zeno de Bast, who's probably a bit young who's probably too young for this World Cup. He'll be coming, eventually.
Yeah.
There's
De Bruyne. That is a lovely ball. Belgium on the attack.
Cut it back now.
There's another run.
Waits too long.
Holds it up, and now Croatia have got
Man
men
on the
back.
run there. Just a little slip ball inside.
Building again, but Croatia have got everyone back. Ball into the box. Oh, little slip, but Croatia play their way out of it, and eventually it goes up.
One of my colleagues just made an interesting point is Croatia have obviously one of the best midfields in the world for the last 10 or so years. 2 of them though were not born in Croatia.
Interesting. Well, Morocco are winning already. It's not happened up there, but they have took the lead against Canada. They're coming up in a second on ours. We are behind on that one. And they are top of the group now. So Belgium are going out as it currently stands.
Oh, is that a bad back pass? Yeah.
What are they doing? The goal gets a great finish, but what's the keeper doing?
Oh.
What is the goalkeeper doing for Canada?
Under it and then he under it to the back of the pass.
No, Bojan, what were you doing? It's Ziyech. What a finish that was.
Yeah.
What a player he is, left foot. Is he
Good
where,
player.
you know, Everton should have got him.
They should have. I wanted him when Roberto was manager back
Yeah.
when he was at here. I think
Yeah,
he was
I
at
think-
and then 20 or whatever it was. And then he went to Ajax, obviously it becomes more expensive then. Don't think he's quite a Chelsea level player, which is probably why it hasn't worked out. But if you made him the creative fulcrum of your team, certainly be a good sign for most teams.
Where would you play him, though?
I play him as a 10, mate.
Would you? I'm
You
going
have
to
to build
say,
the team
he's
round
not
him.
quick enough for wide
You
areas,
have to build the
is he?
team round him, really.
Yeah,
And if for a mid-table Premier League team, could he make them worth building round? Maybe, yeah. You know, I think it's worked in certain teams.
Nice footballer, isn't he?
Yeah, as long as he had legs either side of him.
Yeah, that makes
Someone can run in behind because of his passing and crossing as well, you know.
that makes it all the way. 6 minutes gone, Belgium 0, Croatia 0. And in the other game, Hakim Ziyech has put Morocco 1-0 up against Canada. Goalkeeper,
straight away.
look at that, terrible mistake. But
Feel
what
that?
a finish that
You're
is.
not jumped higher than that.
What a finish.
No,
Morocco on course to win the group. Not
Good
many
outside to
people,
Gregor Coupe and headed the ball into the bar now.
not a lot of people would have said that. Captain Toffee says it's World Cup time. Andika Rizka says, hello, friend. Hello, Andika.
Hello.
John Blaine says, good to see Andy in again.
Hello, John.
Danny Cathcart, hello, the Blues, how do you fellas? Captain Toffee says, only Andy is worth filling of Ped's boots.
Thank you.
There you go.
The small boots.
Yeah, there you go. You had a very small boots to fill, to be fair.
Not many people know. Ped's a size 5.
Samuel Thorndale says, can't believe Bill and Co wanted to bring back Martinez. Get him gone. Yeah, for me, I mean, I know you're not gonna.
No, but it happens though, and I think that this is what people think sometimes. Obviously, you know, I wouldn't want that to happen as an Everton fan, but
Yeah.
I think people forget that relationships are really important in football. And Bill obviously works a certain way. Maybe it's not the most modern of ways, but he certainly has a certain relationship and trust in Roberto. I think he probably would have liked to have kept him on, but Rashidi wanted to clean house as usually new owners do. But no, I get why Everton fans are scared of that notion. But that's what, unfortunately, that's what same when managers pick teams. And you go, why has he picked him? It's trust sometimes. And not that we want to be at the whims of trust and relationships, but it certainly does happen. And that's unfortunately a byproduct of football.
It terrifies me, that thought, I'll be honest.
Well,
Closest I've ever come to just being an Everton off.
I'll take it. If you give me one season like that first season, I'll take it again.
But it was David Moyes' team.
Well, that's what happens with a lot of teams, isn't it? You get a melding of styles, and you know.
Imagine them taking this team now.
Well, yeah, I'm interested to see. For example, Crystal Palace. I'm interested to see how Patrick Vieira does as they move further away from Roy Hodgson's in terms of that defensive stoutness, the set pieces.
He's done. People go on about Vieira. He's done okay, but I think there is a lot of height. He finished 3 points higher than with Hodgson in exactly the same position.
I think he'll still get another at least 18 months. The reason being is I think they're still building that squad.
They shouldn't be looking to do anything.
No, the centre midfielders are.
The Crystal Palace.
But they want to be up in mid-table. You know, once every 5 years, get 7th or something. That's what they're looking at. I know obviously Evertonians were looking for once every 1 year getting 7th or above. But you know, it's.
Ulfstad wasn't a good tackle by Hoylett. It was a late challenge.
I don't know why he's even playing, but it's by the by.
Yeah.
Again, World Cup selections. They've been terrible for a lot of managers and teams.
Look at Ziyech onto this though. Look at the first time finish from above. Oh, it's delicious. Delicious.
So I'll just kill it in the corner.
Yeah, I love it.
A lot of space in this game.
There is. 9 minutes gone. Belgium on the attack again.
Let's go. Pass.
Oh, gets a shot, but it's blocked. There was runners there either side.
That's the problem. People just don't see them, do they?
Pop it off and get it back though.
It's like the Rashford scored that goal the other night, but he clearly should have passed in the bill. You know, I know he scored, so the product is he scored, but in reality, the good decision would have been to pass it earlier.
Was on, yeah.
But again, he scored, so it doesn't really matter. But you know, you need. That's the difference between winning games sometimes.
It's those right decisions, isn't it?
That's exactly.
Some players see them, the top players generally see
That's
those.
the difference, the details, isn't it? That seeing the pattern, making the right choice consistently. Yeah. That's the difference between top and middle players.
Little dink over the top. That looks a good ball. Keeper's got to pick that up. Does well. Good bit of defending that from Lovren.
Free kick to Morocco.
Far out shot comes in. Corner.
Mm.
So as it stands, Morocco are going to win the group. I know there's a lot of football to be played yet, but Belgium would be out. Croatia are being second. Gary Smith says, evening lads, watching from Phnom Penh in Cambodia.
Oh, lovely.
Just been watching Hitler's Paradise and caught the one from 11 days ago. Funny as, playing an online game. Absolutely brilliant.
No idea.
Fair play. I didn't see that one there, but that's fair play. The Blues says, love De Bruyne, but why is he still playing internationals? I don't know. Might as well retire. Playing with those players, only Courtois anywhere near his level.
Players have got national pride, haven't they? You know, we haven't. But some players, it means Everton to play for the national team.
The Blues also says Belgium haven't produced a left back in about 15 years. Ball cross,
no.
Chance.
Put it back in. Put it back in. No.
Oh,
Carrasco,
lad.
come on, man. Decision making.
That was poor. Carrasco, that was poor. Yeah, they haven't produced a left back. They like playing players out of position.
I'm trying to think if they've got any coming up. Not that off the top of my head that I can think of anyone in terms of left backs. It happens though, you know. As we spoke about before, the cameras came on. Scotland, they've got 15 left backs and right backs, but they haven't got other positions. That's the problem with certain nations. They can't produce players for each position. That's why in England, your France's are probably the better teams. I know England have got a lot of left backs, but they've got balance in the squads, which is why that makes them so good.
Yeah, Belgium corner and it comes and cleared comfortably by Croatia up to the halfway line. Captain Toffee says, what was the Canada keeper doing? D&B. Yeah, it was shocking. Borjan, it was a terrible decision. Cam is in the comments. It's boss to see Andy back on the couch.
Hi Cam. Ned
misses you
Cam. Lots and lots.
Ned
and
does
lots.
miss you.
Going on that game.
Anthony Young says De Bruyne said that this team is past it. I think they all are. But Modric has still got it. What do you think of that?
I think at this level he's definitely still got it, and probably in a Real Madrid team where they dominate the ball, he's still got it. If you put him in a team where he was asked to defend a lot more, I think
could he do it in Everton's midfield on a Wednesday
it'd be a struggle,
night?
wouldn't it? Because you know, although we don't dominate Everton don't dominate the ball a lot, and I think in a team where he can get on the ball, make things happen, he's great. But again,
become the luxury player, don't
Messi's a luxury player now.
Yeah.
He can't defend. He hasn't defended properly for a long time. So it just depends how how you use players.
Yeah.
Like I bet you if you offered Dynamo Zagreb the chance to build a team around 38-year-old Luka Modric, they'd bite your arm off. Exactly, yeah,
definitely. Carla says, hello lads, it's that time again. World Cup. It is.
You made a World Cup song up?
It is. Steve Kelly says, all right lads, Hakeem on loan in January.
Take it, wouldn't you? Yeah, ball now.
Is the pass, is the run, De Bruyne.
It's too long.
Still going.
Oh, no.
It's a great ball. Oh,
shouldn't have doubted them.
Dries Mertens, what was that? What was that? He could have played it earlier, but the pass was still delicious.
Yeah, of course.
And you've got to be hitting the target. He can play it now, but what would Mertens have done? He's waiting and waiting. Now, what's the deep...
great pass.
Get over it. That's shocking. Absolutely shocking, Dries Mertens. And he's a good footballer.
Just had to guide it in the corner, but got under on him.
Get over the ball, though.
Yeah, he's got it.
Hit the target. If the keeper saves it, he saves it.
Again, World Cup balls usually flyaways, aren't they? Robert's happy with that miss.
Yeah. Gary Smith says, I'd take Moyes back. Gary Smith also says, keep Frank in charge and no room for him to get him. No room for him to get on board. On the board.
Could be on the market soon. You never know.
Who?
David Moyes.
I know. Where are we? Ben Alty says Jordan Lukaku's a left back, isn't he?
Yeah, he's not good enough though. You could play him, but again, this is why Carrasco plays, because he can start for Belgium, whereas Jordan Lukaku, they've got a kid coming up. I won't mention his name just in case I won't decide to put him to anyone, but he seems all right. Just probably develop somehow.
Yeah. Sophie says, what have been your thoughts on Onana so far at Everton?
Yeah, it's expected. He's obviously in certain
You
games.
did say to me when he come in, we had the chatting, you said,
I love him.
like him, looks really good ceiling on him, but he's going to be up and down.
He's going to be up and down, yeah. He's only
will.
played,
Croatia free kick comes in, up in the air. Oh,
he's only played there.
Carrasco. Go penalty. It's a penalty to Croatia.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Kramaric went down.
Maybe the keeper touched him on his
Taylor
back.
seemed to give that dead quick, didn't he?
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to send him to the screen for that one or they're going to overrule it.
Do you think he made the meal of that?
I didn't quite see. I was thinking about Onana.
Okay, well, we can talk. Oh, he's offside anyway.
Yeah, he is.
He's offside, but what phase is it? It's ages before he took.
Oh, I don't know if he went down a bit lightly there. Oh, no, it's
No,
foul,
he's caught him, yeah.
High foot onto the top.
See, the offsides, right? We saw yesterday he has caught him.
Depends
We
on the phase of play, yeah.
Griezmann scored a goal in 98th minute and he took it back and gave offside. Even though it was headed and the referee had the decision as was he interfering with play?
I didn't think that.
I always thought when it comes and they head it away, that's phase 2 then and you're okay.
Courtois not a bad pen saver, to be fair. So
It's been given, they're not looking at it. It's Modric v Courtois.
Each other in training.
Yeah. 2 Real Madrid teammates here as Modric got the chance at the other end for Canada. Oh!
To Jean Buchanan sliding in.
Buchanan have him every day of the week.
He's quick, isn't he?
Kyle, with a little ball across. A little ball across from Kyle Aaron there. It's a
good dribble.
They're just checking the offside, aren't they? It's in the build-up, they're saying.
I'll just say quickly on Onana, yeah, he's only played like 30-odd professional games. So you can have peaks and troughs in terms of performance, still get used to the pace of the Premier League.
Where do you think his best position is? Cause
I think box to box. He'd probably be best in a 2 with Gay because they can
just for now.
Yeah. I think they need to, again, the structure, we talked about this before, the structure needs to be a bit tighter for Everton anyway.
Yeah.
I think by sending Iwobi ahead of them 2 would just stick together then as a 2. And if that's, yeah, he's got to think.
Gone to in the build-up. It can only be the offside, and he was offside, Kramaric, but there's 3 clearances first. I mean, I don't, as a shot comes in, Ziyech over the bar. He's off there, but look, you'll have to play it on though. Quite clearly he's offside. You've got to play it on. One touch.
Who's got the right?
2 touch. 3 touch before Kramaric touches it. You can't.
Who's got the rights to show in the review the replays? Because we never see replays in this World Cup.
Of the offsides?
Yeah, I never see
them.
them.
They have showed it, like. But
they show like 4 or 5 minutes after the fact and you think, what's going on there?
Yeah, it should be straight away. He's offside there's no question, but just look at how many phases of play there is.
Yeah, but to me, where's the thing?
He's going to give offside, watch.
It's offside.
Yeah, not going to give it, is he? Yeah.
I think it was offside because the keeper, it doesn't come out unless that player forces the issue on the offside.
It's a strange
decision. Is that Belgian for us?
It's not a strange decision, but it's a decision I thought...
It's very in tune with this World Cup where you think, that could give given normally. Like, to me, that was a straight offside in the Premier League. That's offside.
You see, I'm all for offside, so get rid of all the phase. Maybe they have. Get rid of phase 1, phase 2 shite now. Just go offside. Ball's played offside. I mean, it wouldn't have been any more than Croatia deserved. Belgium.
I'd just like them to err on the side of the attackers. That's because we want to see goals. That's football, you know what I mean?
Oh, it's always how we can stop a goal. That's what it is.
It should be the other way around. Goals for prizes, you know what I mean?
Lovely
the Americans
football.
Don't pay for
chance for Croatia again. Ball into the box, kicks up. Oh, chance. And Belgium somehow smuggle it. Belgium are just not a very good team.
Well, De Bruyne and
the way they're playing, they quite clearly got loads of talent, but they're just not, as a team right now, they're not playing very well, are they?
No, Axel Witzel's certainly not. Another one who's...
He's come to the end, isn't he? It is just that thing.
It's weird then, because he's always seemed forever young, Axel Witzel, hasn't he? But no, he's 31 now, 32. Need to play the best players and stop going with the try and trust, maybe.
They're in every time, aren't they? Croatia ball back again.
Now they'll go on the other end now. Yeah, in space,
This is what, it's a nice game, no? I mean, good tempo to it, isn't it? Still 0-0, we've had...
Bad pass.
Oh, it's a terrible ball. We're in the 20th minute. Croatia thought they had the penalty. It was given. And then the VAR showed... Well, we did say straight away Kramaric was offside. It was whatever phased. And like you said, if they just clarify it and go, you're offside, there's no phases anymore.
Exactly.
If you're offside, then we all know. We'd have just gone there, he's off. Straight away, wouldn't we? He's off.
Exactly.
So...
Oof, it was tight, to be fair. Hand? Come on.
yeah, it's a...
I wouldn't give that for hands. He can't score with his hands, so it's not offside.
Interesting.
See, that's what I mean. 4 minutes have to be looked distance.
They get it straight away, though.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I know,
why
but
don't they should show us, because they know. So
I mean,
just
if
show
you
us
don't
straight
You
away.
want to suppress the anger on social media and that.
Yeah.
Then, yeah,
It was like
socially's
thingy, wasn't it? It was like the USA game the other day when Tim Weir made it 2-0.
Yeah.
And within a second, they disallowed it and he was carrying on. It was because they had the AI.
Was it the first
and
game?
for ages, we were going, he's onside. And then it shows it and you go, oh, he's miles off. It was done.
It was like the first game where you needed 2 people behind the goalkeeper's out. The offside rule, that we didn't know that till 5 minutes later.
Yeah, exactly.
I was about to say Port Qatar, but I can't say that. You know,
No.
they were the ones accused of all sorts. But,
Exactly. Win it.
That's it.
Kept it alive. Yeah, keep going. Good build up by Croatia. Oh, don't stop.
Whoever that is, just that
It's out to
Kovacic,
Perisic,
really
is it?
slow on the ball. Or Brozovic, one of the two's been really slow on the ball.
Now's
it back?
Now's the chance. If you're doing it, do it now. Gets it up. It's a good ball. Lovely touch. There's runners. Kramaric again.
Yeah, a lot of Croatia's balls have ended up on the edge of the box rather than falling to people in the middle.
They've got no command and fella coming in now, have they?
Get big Pekovic on.
Knock it in. 0-0, 21 minutes gone. And in the other game,
For all I know, he's playing.
Morocco.
I know Lavage's playing.
Morocco 1 up against Canada. Mistake from the Canada keeper Borjan. Gave the Ziyech well, it was a tremendous finish, to be fair. Mate, so play.
So they put Borneza Sosa in this Belgian side, different gravy, but they obviously just can't find the left back.
Where's Toffee?
He's on the bench. He's come back from injuries, though, isn't he? He had a couple of injuries last season, this season for and last season for Rennes. Or Raw.
No, but you want him on, don't you? Want that bit of pace.
I think that's been the big issue with a lot of teams. I think that's why Canada give teams a game, because they've got so much pace in the team. Whereas Argentina, apart from Molina, have got zero pace and width.
Yeah,
which is why it's quite easy to. Well, I don't know Poland was doing last night, but.
Gary Schmidt said, bizarre captain Toffee said, how's that interference? Should be a pen. The Blues says, Abdi Dobaz, I think they're massively overrated. A combined Everton-Belgium team would be interesting. To see how many of our players make it in, it would show how bad Belgium are.
Well, the goalkeeper's not making it, is he? I know people like Pickford, but Courtois is just infinite. It's just a better player.
Courtois was incredible, yeah.
So then left back, you probably make it into.
Enough times passed. There's been loads of room.
You know.
Mathew Fowler says it was Lovren that was offside. Yeah, it's just. But if he went and contested the ball, then it's offside, isn't it? That's the way they look at it.
T-Jam. Another one who shouldn't be playing.
Big days, if you're off and you go and contest the ball, then we can't argue about phases, can we? I thought it must have been Kramaric. I've seen the Croatia player ahead of the play, and obviously Kramaric is the one who got the penalty.
It's offside.
But he's offside, so it's fine.
These days with these phases, the referees have to interpret and lines have to interpret enough now. Just make it simple. If they're offside, they're offside.
That's it, yeah. Gary Ward and Josh Oldfield say hello. Colin Taylor says hello, all hoping Croatia win, just to piss Martinez off. Benjamin James has just finished the Daily Live Extra. Very good, by the way. I enjoyed it. At the end, you mentioned Oldham. Was Tarkson, Oldham team that played both Liverpool and Everton in the FA Cup. Well, he scored against Liverpool, didn't he? When he knocked them out 3-2, he scored the second goal, I think. I can't remember if he played against Everton. He probably did, which is probably why we didn't score.
To be fair, I can't remember seeing Ronaldo, Goodison, the original R9 Ronaldo, so don't ask me about
Can't you know?
No, I can remember hundreds of players who are around now, but if you ask me who I've actually seen in teams, I can't remember half the time.
I met him. Tremendous. Got his autograph.
Did you bear? That nice?
I was working, wasn't I?
Of course.
So I went out and watched them train.
Oh, phenomenal.
So the night before, their Manjipan trained. So I went out and watched them both train, and then when I met all the Brazil players on the side of the pitch, shook his hand, Ronaldo and all that.
The one I remember from that game mostly is Zeno, because he scored obviously the lovely little volley.
He scored
didn't he?
the volley, yeah.
And I was thinking, he must be a star. I've never seen him again. But he went to Japan in the end.
Roberto Carlos's goal at the street end.
Yeah.
It's it, well.
Again, don't remember seeing him.
He said he wanted to come, didn't he? It's 2-0 to Morocco in the other game.
So Sabri scored.
These are I tell you what, these are man, I've watched them in this World Cup. They look like a good side. It's mad.
Who scored?
19.
Nesli, yeah.
We'll see it now. They've got Hakimi, who I absolutely love. Ashraf, love him.
You've got Mazraoui on the left.
Yeah.
Aguerd, Seist, centre-half. Some good players.
Good little side, aren't they? As Witzel fires a shot in. So 2-0. I think Morocco are winning the group. I can't see Canada turning that round. Canada's really disappointing because I felt they should have won the first game. And I felt...
They're a team of halves, though, aren't they? Half the team going forward, they're quite good. But at the back, midfield, I don't know why he keeps selecting... he doesn't select.
There he is. Great first touch. That's a great finish. I mean, hang on. I'm saying it's a great finish, but near post. Oh, balls.
And the 5-0, yeah.
Yeah, that's not good, is it? But 2-0 to Morocco, they are in command of this group. If it stays the same, 25-25.
Look at that ball there by Modric, out of trouble.
Yeah, there we go. Is Croatia into the box?
Again, decision making.
Oh, it is. It's the final ball. Build-up's good. And you get to the final ball and it's...
Execution quality.
Yeah, it's not good. Brozovic. There's an overlap now. Play it now. Too late.
So.
No one's showing now, is there? That's a poor ball, but it's a corner to Croatia. 26 minutes gone. Munier looks like he's got a cob on.
Big Thomas.
Perisic over there. Daniel Nagel says, what teams has Andy enjoyed watching in this World Cup so far?
Canada, Tunisia, Morocco, Japan. Them teams most. Teams that I like a few players on already, but as it's collective, they play like they've got their own style. Like obviously, Canada very very pacey and pressing. Japan that is this. That's similar. Yeah. Morocco and Tunisia very stout in terms. They've got some good players that some players people don't know as well.
Yeah.
All them times.
It's been good.
Spain. I love Pep type of football. So Spain to me are the ultimate. And as you know, I'm a big Morata fan as well. And him scoring it was good, but. Not a Morata fan, and I think he's the world's best. I just like what he does.
Well, we had a chat about him yesterday and got a couple of looks off Ped, I think, at first. But
he gets in good positions,
yeah,
good runs.
I said this, we were doing the games last night, night before, I was talking about him and saying, lovely first touch, great movement, holds it up well at times. But just his letdown is he misses good chances. Yeah, but he's a good striker. He's not amazing, but he's a good striker.
He's one of the three for his career, playing for Juventus, big Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid, big clubs, Chelsea. It's not that he's not scored goals. It's just that in the defining moments, sometimes he can fluff his lines, which you want people with ice in their veins, like a certain Norwegian who plays for Man City.
His finish against Spain was delicious. Got across the front man, outside of the foot, back of the net.
Against Germany.
Against Germany, yeah. Like say against the Spanish. Yeah, in training.
Same difference.
In training, he does it all the time. Again, in the Spain v Germany game, I was saying to Zach, look, just watch his movements here.
Across the front, yeah.
Where you get, could be a red card.
Two-footed.
That was a bit of a naughty one.
Jonathan Sarium.
A little bit of a naughty one. This is the second goal against
a great run. Path, yeah.
That's a nice fin. I know the keeper's got to do better, but watch this for the first touch.
Yeah, right,
and then out of his feet, look, one touch. Bang, two, and it's back at the net. Keeper's not really got a chance to settle. Shouldn't be getting beat on your near post.
That's it. Again, he's
power.
He'd be a 15+ goal scorer if he did that.
Who's he at?
It's Sevilla. He gets in good positions again. Doesn't tend to always take his chances.
Oh, that was tight.
Yellow card for Jonathan Osorio.
Looked a little bit just because he followed through.
Yeah, well, who knows what's a red and a yellow and a pen anymore? I'm still shocked at the Argentina pen. Jesus. Punched the goalkeeper.
Oh, yeah, that was bizarre. I mean, it was justice was done, like we were saying, weren't we? But
I love Messi, but
how is it a penalty? He's gone for the ball. Messi's headed it. All right, he's caught him.
Contact,
if he catches him before he heads it,
or he looks at him and pushes him in the face,
you could argue. But he's stretching for a cross.
It's natural action, isn't it, for the keeper?
No, I can't. As much as I love Lionel Messi,
So basically, you can't mark the goalkeeper anymore in that case because it's found the goal.
Oh, it's another referee letting some of these go look like another little bit of a naughty.
Future Celtic player Alistair Johnson making that wonderful tackle.
Was it? Yeah.
Gone from Montreal Impact to or CF Montreal, whatever they call themselves these days.
Who was it?
Alistair Johnston, his name is. He's a right centre back.
Is it Seattle?
No, Montreal.
Montreal.
Yeah.
Coming up to the half an hour mark, Croatia 0, Belgium 0. As it stands, Morocco a win. Well, Morocco are 2 up. I can't see them surrendering a 2-goal lead here, to be fair. They are winning the group. And as it stands, Belgium are going out.
That's some good stuff here, Canada. Oh, poor ball.
Pass again, no,
Come
isn't
on,
it?
Miller, poor final ball.
I've enjoyed watching Canada, I have.
I think Davis is obviously the best player they've got. Then you've got Buchanan. David had a poor tournament. So
He has.
Jonathan
Jonathan
David. Look like he was firing.
Being poor. You know, if you talk, people are talking about £50 million for him, not a chance. Nice footballer, but
don't judge people by the World Cup.
No, but I expect more from him. He
looked a bit.
He looks like
sluggish.
he's off it. Yeah,
bit sluggish.
That's what I mean. I've seen him. He was in Belgium. He was great. I've seen him what he's done for Lille. Excellent. But
it takes time to get going. I think sometimes.
But I expect players.
Oh yeah.
I expect players to be able to control the ball. I expect me strikers to be able to get hold of it for me.
Yeah.
And he hasn't done either of them.
No, some strikers have bad World Cups. You know, I watched Hadji Wright a fair few times in Turkey, and he looked completely lost for when he came on for America the night. He couldn't get going. I don't know if he'd been out the night before or whatever, but he did not look like he knew tactically what they were doing. He tried to score when he needed to run it in the corner.
No. Says, remember when Ped told us to watch out for automated offsides at the World Cup because it'd fix everything? It's worse than ever. It isn't though, is it?
I think it's one in every 100. I take that over what it is like now.
Yeah, I think to be fair, it's actually got rid of anything, hasn't it? Whether you agree with it or not, he's offside.
I'm just going to say to people now, you're never ever going to get a foolproof system. It's impossible. It's interpretation. Like realistically, that probably wasn't offside because it's hands, but
that's the rule. It's not.
Yeah,
that's not what
their interpretation of the rule.
The AI.
You're still relying on human judgment.
See, what I would have done there was I wouldn't have brought Anthony Taylor over.
No.
I'd have gone. The AI said he's offside, mate.
Yeah,
so he's offside in the build-up.
They just don't do that because they don't like to overrule the refs.
No, but you're messing. They give the bleeding thing. He didn't give the penalty on Messi, did he?
No, he didn't.
And they called him over to look at it and he gave it. So just be braver with what you're doing. Just
I
go.
think that's the problem.
You're offside.
If me and you watched 100 offsides or 100 like penalty decisions, I bet you we'd have a difference on at least 25, which is a quarter, and that's
so that's why for me the AI is the perfect thing because you just go.
Because that's like black and white.
That's it. It's done. So just go right. It's offside. Then don't bring. Once you start putting in human error back into it, it's a chance for Croatia edge of the box. Onto his left foot, Brozovic. Chance has gone. Yeah. Once you start bringing humans back into it, then.
Oh, look at that ball.
That's not a bad ball.
That's Sporting Sosa's bread and butter. I don't know why they haven't let him do it yet.
Unlucky. Belgium have put you to sleep. That's so slow, says Carla. Getting that Everton feeling again. Captain Toffee says, can we truly enjoy Christmas knowing the following day the dreaded Blues return?
You never know, you might go on a winning run.
Just think about it before. Only think about Everton on Boxing Day. That's the best way to. Then you'll enjoy your Christmas. That's the way. Yeah.
Do you know what though? I don't know whether now because there's more expectation or we've got more money, but I still think I don't know whether because I was a kid, the 90s were well worse for football than we are now. I know we're pretty bad now, but good lord, the 90s were terrible.
Oh, Everton were dreadful.
Dreadful. And I mean, like the
Walter Smith and his 7
some fun players now
centre-backs.
turn up every couple of games. Back then, David Ginola when he was like basically a L'Oreal advert man and part-time Everton player.
Fair play.
Don't get me wrong.
The lad that's earning a living.
Yeah, but
No. Everton were absolutely dreadful in the 90s. Like people, like some of these
short memories, yeah.
some of these younger fans now who are fuming, And to be fair, they should be fuming. They've seen absolutely nothing.
I think they were promised a lot as well.
And we were all promised a lot in 2016 when Mashiri took over. We were promised Champions League football, you know, maybe challenging for the title and all that, because up till then, Man City had been able to do it. What we all forgot was the rules have changed. Since 2014, the rules totally changed. So it wasn't as easy to do it. And Everton have got it ridiculously wrong. And that's their own fault. Nobody else's fault, really. But the football, Everton's issue right now is the forward players. It's just dead simple. All right, we are giving up a lot of shots and stuff, but we're conceding 1.1 goals per game, which isn't terrible, really. It could be better, of course it could, but it's not dreadful.
There's an element to look to.
The problem is, though, but when you look at things, you could say it's an element of bad luck that we're only scoring 0.7 a game. But I don't agree with that either. As Belgium put up all in, it's clear.
No, but when you, I know some people don't like this, but when you look at the data, it breaks it down into different things. So shots that are blocked, and Everton's highest number in terms of the XG, in terms of what's contributed to the XGA, which is XG against, is missed shots. So bad finishing is why Everton haven't conceded goals rather than Everton. But I know people have said that Cody and Tarkowski have blocked a lot of shots. They've blocked a good number of shots, of course they have. However, in terms of actual quality of shot, it's more the chances that have been missed against Everton or Jordan Pickford making cracking saves because he had a good season than it's actual our defence sort of blocking them out. But again, everyone has luck, and you go through peaks and troughs of what you can say in luck. I think, as you said, and rightfully, there will be some mitigation if you could keep the ball up to the end longer. You know what I mean? And not
it affects it, doesn't it? It makes
it does, and
different.
I'm sure Everton, and I think we've all heard that Everton are going to improve in January. So you just wait and hope, don't you? Because we don't want a situation like Crystal Palace, do we?
No.
Well, not the recent game. We want a situation like that every week, but of course the game in May.
I mean, the biggest thing for me is recently, like our expected points were still below what the expected points should have been from chances, but that was like 5 points below the other week. Now it's like
because that's
half a point.
That's because the performance trends, as I was talking to you about. Whereas, so we often, in terms of creating quality chances versus quality chances around, the differential's too high.
Yeah.
If you middled that off, if you were quite close, then you would see an upturn in results.
Yeah.
Everton were getting results when conceding a lot of chances, which again, over longer term,
Switch.
10-game rolling, 10 games, you're going to start losing games, which we have done, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I know people say stats lie, but in terms of trends, they don't lie.
Ball back in.
Unless you've got Liverpool and you've got somehow managed to convert every chance goal for 10 years. But there's always teams that break things.
Good forwards though, isn't it?
As I say to people, there's always teams who are above the average because otherwise it wouldn't work because it's an average.
Yeah,
XG's an average number.
Rondon the Legend says Belgium are an awful team to watch.
They've never been particularly, I would say they've always been quite disjointed. They've never been clicked, have they really?
No.
Even in previously good World Cups, they always relied on quality of player more than actual style and cohesiveness. I think Spain are the ultimate team of
I was going to say, not many teams. Like Brazil have been in the past, but at other times have also relied on brilliance from their front players.
France rely on Mbappe, really, don't
France are on Mbappe, no matter how many good players France have got.
It was Pogba and Mbappe.
It's mainly Mbappe, isn't it, who they're looking for. Brazil have got it now. Brazil have got good, strong players and will be a threat.
But without Neymar, they haven't got that one superstar, have they?
They're still looking for the front. See, I think Vinny Jr. and Rodrigo
Vinny's great,
have been bright in this.
I think Vinny's great, but I think he's just not ready to be Neymar.
Neymar's
got 29. He's got
And the other thing with Neymar is what people don't kind of take into consideration is how often he gets on the ball.
He's the talisman.
He draws people to him, which frees up the other space.
It's like Messi. The three players are drawn into Messi, and then you can get out of that, which is good enough to do.
So I think there will be disjointed teams. Spain are the ones who put it together more often than not, and actually look like a team.
Maybe in a couple of years too early with the Spanish. I don't know. We'll see how they get on because the difference between them and other teams, they can dominate a whole game.
Yeah.
When they took certain players off the night, it didn't necessarily work because I don't think Nico Williams particularly holds the ball up as well as other players.
No. I still don't think they'll win the World Cup, Spain, but I think
it's goals. That's the issue for them.
That's the thing. But they are, in terms of being in control of games a lot. Although Germany did manage to wrestle it away from them the other day a bit, they still look after the ball better than most teams, don't they? And that'll get you so far anyway. There's 39 minutes, it's 0-0. Morocco still 2 up in the other game.
I'm seeing Canada have a chance for 10 minutes.
No.
Even though like 3 or 4 minutes behind.
Walter Smith, dark days.
Dark days.
Says Rondon the legend.
Good, decent manager as well, to be fair. I just think he got that down in terms of quality of player.
The Blues says 90s football, you had like 5 players in a row slicing a ball, which had never happened now.
That account on Twitter is hilarious. 90s
Oh,
football.
it's hilarious, some of them.
43 people in the box trying to clear it.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, that wasn't commonplace. But,
no, that's like your league. It was like, what, Division 3 or whatever it was at the time. You know what I mean?
It was shocking. Gary says, just being in a pub and soaking up the atmosphere in a boozer around the game. I will be there. Flying in for Christmas and New Year after 14 years. Is right, Gary. It's right. Hope we're good, mate. So you see something good. Captain Toffee says, as bad as the 90s were, though, we did at least win something.
Well,
we're talking late 90s,
I'm talking from, no, the league, apart from that one year under Joe, where we finished 6th, when Arsenal pipped us in front of the final.
We had 18 months under Joe, didn't we? That was
that was great, and then it just... Yeah, then after that...
Well, to be honest, it was 2 years under Joe, because what it was we had the
Derby win was the first game.
We had the half a season to stay up, which was excellent. We had top 3 form that year, how many games he won the second half. Then we had the year where we come 6th, following winning the FA Cup. We should have got into Europe, really. We lost out on the last day to Villa. To Arsenal, sorry.
Arsenal, I remember watching
and then we beat Villa last day, didn't we? Canada have got a goal back. We'll see in a second, makes it interesting. And then the first half of the next season, we were 4th at Christmas or early in December.
And that's the end of that.
And people were saying we're going to win, Everton are dark horses for the league.
Yeah.
And then we lost Joe Parkinson on Boxing Day. And we were never ever the same.
I obviously I knew he was a good Everton manager, but I didn't realise how good of a manager he was for Oldham. I know he won the Premier League.
He was tremendous for Oldham. FA Cup semi-finals and everything.
They must go on the break and score.
They must do, yeah. We're behind, of course, in the Canada-Morocco game. I've seen it come up on there that Canada have scored. But Morocco were on the attack there. Junior Hoylett nicked the ball. Now is this a quick?
No.
No? Okay. We must be 3 years behind. In the other game, we are very much up to date as Belgium are on the attack. Into the box, goes past. Little flick across the 6-yard box. Nobody there.
No gambling.
You haven't gone Paul Pesky-Shalido, have you?
That's it.
He's gone there. Yeah. He's gone there with the Pesky-Shalido
shout. I couldn't think of any other Canadian players from back in the day.
What a shout. The ball.
Obviously, mine's Karen Brady.
Karen Brady, of course. Been with there for years now, hasn't he? Of course. Belgium have got the ball on the edge of the Croatia box, but not much doing. Is this the Canada goal on the other game?
So that's Jean Buchanan making a move up the pitch.
Come on, Buchanan, get yourself a goal.
And it's coming across.
Ball in. Oh, keeper. Oh, what's the goalkeeper done?
No. Oh, no.
That is awful goal. That's one each.
That's goalkeeper 101.
One, yeah. The pair of them, unless it's deflected off the 5, which it may well have done. Bono, well, never been the same since he stopped singing with U2 there, has he? Then in goal for Canada. That was
certainly no Joshua Tree, was it?
For Morocco, rather. There was no Joshua Tree. Let's see. Ball in, deflection.
Fair play.
Hit the 5. Canada back in it at 5 minutes before the break.
Still low. Yeah, he's on his tiptoes.
Yeah. Morocco still going to win the group as it stands anyway. These 2 draw, and there's a devil, man in a devil.
They're called the Red Devils, aren't they?
They are the Red Devils. Where are we? Okay, Captain Toffee says, get Funas, Murray's twinning.
Rogelio.
Be some boss barbecues, if nothing else.
We should have a little restaurant called Ramiro's Barbecue outside the new grounds. Just do barbecue pit.
That'd be all right.
Ramiro's Barbecue,
That'd be all right. Canada have got a corner now at the other end.
Junior Hoylett. He must know the house because he's not.
Scored a good goal every now and again, didn't he? Joe said, I'm getting more and more angry at the prospect of Roberto coming our manager while watching it.
Well,
no, let's just get Frank, get a couple of wins. The fans, I
don't think there's going to be a manager change this season, so unless it goes dire, which I don't expect it to. So I think fans are probably better focusing their attention on the transfer window.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the fans would Everton would shit the bed with Martinez. I think the protests would be that bad.
Yeah, I don't think I think Mashiri listens to the fans, so
Yeah.
I think if you like Vitor Pereira and Frank, for example, you know.
Well, exactly, and I think what people
don't want to they don't want a Rafa situation again. That was just bad PR all round.
Yeah, it was terrible. I think what you've got to remember is these people who are fantasists like Martinez and who think like they want Martinez back. Got to remember how toxic the last 18 months were with them when we had a good side.
You remember how, like, do
players.
you remember the players that forced them to go more direct? It still didn't work, by the way, but remember they were, let's go more direct, let's go more direct. And when that starts to happen, you know, it's like...
Baines, giving Baines instructions on the derby, and he was like
Wales, let's go forward at the back, and they got beaten, got massacred by England because, you know, the players tried to make the manager do something he didn't want to do, and he did. To keep the players happy.
You just can't do it. And the fella also took Everton to court for £10 million to get it, so that he should never ever be on anybody's list to be an Everton manager. Said before, he's a lovely fella.
He needs to improve.
He'd probably be a tremendous technical director for someone in terms of putting processes in place and organising all of that. Fine. If you want to do that at Everton, then you can't just tell us that. So go somewhere where you can do it.
Kevin's the man.
But no thanks in terms of a manager, no chance. Marcus says, anybody know how they're watching? Watching what? We're watching on BBC One, we're watching Croatia, Belgium, which is 0-0. On Canada, Morocco, we're behind.
Due to legalities, you can't show the game.
And we can't show the game, obviously. Rondon the Legend says, no chance of Roberto. Give Frank 2 more windows. Well, they've got to be in line, haven't they? They've got to be aligned. If you're saying we're backing Kevin Thelwell, then you've got to, as long as, like Andy said, it does. You know, it's got to pick up. It can't. Everton can't be going.
Got to show. You've got. Frank's.
It's got to show something.
I think we said before the season we were never expecting, and you know, I certainly wasn't with a realistic cap on. Wasn't expecting to finish top 10. So you know, finished 14th. There's not going to be a ton of wins. You're not going to win 20 games. Let's be honest. So you're going to lose you're going to lose a fair amount of games. And I think, don't get me wrong, recent form. And I think if we can show a style, a plan, a structure, and young players like Gordon improving and others improving, then you go, yeah, all right, let's give them the tools, and we'll go. Yeah. I said that's up to Frank and his staff to show, which I'm sure they're eager to do so.
That's it, isn't it?
But I think with any manager, it doesn't matter. This is generalised. To give people, you know, I've seen people say 3, 5, 10 years, whatever you want to give people managers. Yeah. You have to earn it and show it. Yeah. So it's on the manager and on the club as well to support the manager, because managers are nothing without the team and the processes behind them. You need to make sure that everything's in place for people to be successful. And if Everton believe that everything's in place to be successful, and Frank does or doesn't, then we'll see the outcome of that, really.
And him and his coaching staff have got to do better. They've got the simple as. Regardless
don't be wrong. You know, there's clear flaws in the side in terms of what we know. I think Everton. No, there's no doubt that they need more attacking quality. Yeah. You know, 2 maybe 3. You know, it depends on how you look at it. But you know, there also needs to be.
Do you think they need a creative midfielder as well?
Well, it depends how you view Alex Iwobi, doesn't it? Really, I think.
But even with Alex,
you can't play 2 creators.
No, sorry, I didn't mean.
You need a winger who can create, definitely. Yeah,
I didn't mean just like play them 2 and 1 holder.
Yeah.
But what I mean is in the squad, because it's all on Iwobi.
Yeah, you need balance. You can't expect one player, because Iwobi's going to have peaks and troughs as well.
Of course, yeah.
You know, as good or whatever people want to say, as good or bad he's been this season. He's going to get games where he doesn't play well, because there's not many players who play well 30 games a season. No. So, you know, I think it's been rumoured in the press, for example, Daichi Kamada, if he was coming off the bench for an Everton, would that add something? Of course it would, yeah, definitely. You know, I think that you need, every team needs 2 players for every position. Everton, I don't think can afford to have the 2 £30 million strikers, because you won't be able to keep them happy. But if there's a development striker behind the Dom, you know, who's good, you know, or even just a classic backup, like, you know, we've spoken about a few in the summer, a few now. You know, classic backup who's similar type, who the team can build around. You know, Neil Maupay, you can find a role for Maupay that suits his skill set, or change the balance of the side when he plays to get him more chances that he's accustomed to, then that might work. It's just find that sweet spot.
I still feel like, regardless of what they do with Maupay, they need another
Dominic Calvert-Lewin
mobile target man,
type. You do, yeah. You can't. The whole team's based around that one play. I'm not saying we built around Dom, but as an Everton side anyway, even since I was watching as a kid, we've always been based around the target man. It's even look at Lukaku, our best striker in many years. Yak, not the most traditional target man, but he's a target man also.
Yeah.
He can play. You feed it to feet, feed it to chest. He can build from attack. I think when we haven't got that, we've never had the style. The style to suit smaller strikers. We just don't play that way. We like to get it wide and get crosses into the box. Fans' demands, really.
Yeah, true. 0-0 at half-time. Croatia 0, Belgium 0. They're still playing on our tellies anyway. In the Canada-Morocco game, it's a free kick to Morocco. Ziyech into the middle. Knockdown. Chance on a volley. It's 3-1. What a finish. And it's the man Andy said needed to do it more often. And he's done it. It's 3-1. Now to Morocco. That is a tremendous strike. Good ball in from Ziyech.
Awkward ice he is to that as well.
He's hit that really well.
Got over.
It's offside. Oh, my word.
He wasn't offside.
He's not off.
Was it in front of the goalie?
We'll have to see that again.
Well, that's just a clear cut call, isn't it?
Ziyech doesn't look happy. Let's see. He's onside.
Who's offside?
So who is offside here?
Go on.
Ball in.
It's when the shot's taken. Is it him in front of the... Yeah, it's him. It's
because he's the man in front of the keeper, number 5.
Yeah,
so he's offside. Good volley, though. Would have been 3-1.
He flashed across the goal when the shot was being
taken.
You
can't argue with that. He was in the goalie's eye. So, should have been 3-1. Well, could have been 3-1. It's not. It's 2-1.
Let's not bring up Gilfie Sigurdsson against Man United.
Yeah, but you see the difference with that.
He was on the floor now.
He was on the floor, and David De Gea dived away the shot.
I've got no problem with that. I'm just saying... The rules are interpreted differently for everything, aren't they?
Oh, of course. The Blues says our problem is our competition are investing too much. Much more than us. We sold our best player and spent 20 million.
That's the situation Everton in, and no matter what level of club you're at, you've only got what you've got. You can't spend more than you. I know we'd all like to be able to spend 200 million every window. I don't think Machiri could afford to spend 200 million every single window.
Of course he could.
But I think that's just the lot you're giving us. Unfortunately, clubs.
But a lot of other clubs can't afford to spend 200. Newcastle can't afford to spend 200 million every window. They might be able to at the moment. They're
probably going to have to sell Bruno Guimaraes if they're going to build
exactly.
But that's what clubs have to do.
But isn't there a way? Yeah, you're without being any specifics, right? Say I give you Everton's recruitment, right? I said to you, Andy, you're coming in. You and Tim and whatever coming in, right? And we had a realistic chat, and I said, do you think, with all the stuff you do, with all the data you've got and looking at that, you could build Everton a team that could consistently challenge for the Europa League and maybe the Champions League, maybe, right? I know it's all hypothetical, and I know it's quite fantasy.
I'm obviously quite confident in my ability to do so.
But what I'm saying to you is, without Everton having to spend 500 million every season, because surely there's ways you can do it.
It's about balance. For me, for any club that you talk about, it's about balance. Yes, you need to feed the fact that Everton probably need players now to perform who can get us away from any potential situation like a relegation. But you need to balance that. We need assets in the team all the time.
Yeah.
In terms, you need to be able to build assets because, for example, people deride, Steve Walsh, maybe rightly so in some senses, but he bought on Yukuru, never played a game for Everton, but made us 7 or 8 million.
Yeah, Luchman.
Vlasic, Luchman,
made
money on them. Those type of transfers where you can shine up a little bit with a loan. Now, Everton aren't in the situation because of expendable capital where you can do that anymore.
Yeah.
But if you sign, Onana did cost a lot of money. But if you sign some Onanas who maybe cost what Onana cost the previous summer, which is 4 or 5 million, and you have them on the periphery of your squad, you don't have to have them in the starting games.
Yeah.
If Everton get to a situation where the first team is ready and you don't need to add to the first team, you just need to add depth, then you'll be in a good position because you'll be able players to develop and sell. But I think what the problem for Everton is currently now is you're between those two things where you need to build you need to help the FFP by selling players, but you've still got gaps in the first team, so you have to fill those gaps first. And if you don't fill the gaps first, then you can just leave your first team short.
Of course, yeah.
So, in the summer we bought, James Garner, I think, good young English player, deal. Could we have used that money maybe for another winger? Maybe we could have, maybe we couldn't have. That's up to Everton as a team. I'm not involved in it. I don't know what their thought process is. But they're the type of decisions you need to make in terms of if you've got gaps in your first team, you have to definitely has to be left for now. And it depends what's available as well. You know, I know Everton bid for Mudryk, and they were looking at other players like that. That's a first team, but that would be a first team signing, wouldn't it? So you can't. It's difficult, but for me, it's just about that balance.
Well, would you be confident?
Would I be confident
of being able to?
To be honest with you, I'd say yes, because I'm confident in my own ability and what we do. However, I don't know the situation of the Everton recruitment team are under. I don't know the exact FFP issues that we're currently under, how players feel. You know, it's great in saying it's Everton, we're a big side, we are a big side. How do players feel about the project? Now, I've got a manager who is, stopped playing relatively recently, so young players will know him still. However, what pull do Everton have still? Do people want to come and play for Everton? Everton have had a few, Moise Keane, I don't know whether that's Everton's fault or the players' fault. Everton had a few young players who come and not really hit the ground running. It's not really worked out. So will agents risk players coming to Everton? Yes and no. I don't know all of those situations, and that's why it's very difficult for me to make judgments on Everton's recruitment team and the situation they're in. If you ask me about an Argyle or a Preston or whoever I work with, then yes, of course I'll be able to tell you, because I know the exact situation that they're in with those teams. However, it's very difficult with Everton, with all the restrictions that Everton have got currently and what's available to them. Like, you know, people criticise Neil Maupay, but what else was available? I don't know particularly. I know Everton were offered one or two players who would have been risks. But do I know who else they were offered and who else they could have got?
Yeah, but surely.
You think in reality, you'll go, could you got better than so and so? Who wanted to come? Yeah. I don't know. I've got no idea about that. So it's very difficult sometimes to make judgments.
What I'm just talking about on a really like basic, a really basic level.
I think Everton, in terms of recruitment now, I think you've got Kevin Thelwell, who did well at Wolves, and it's a trying situation where an agent was really powerful. You've got other people there who've got good reputations, and I know they're looking to expand the department as well in terms of adding people to it. So no, I think we've got to give them time. They've had one window. Again, sometimes windows look better longer term than they do shorter term. So it's just, I think there's this window is important, but I think I've heard people call this the most important window ever for Everton. That's every window sometimes for Everton. I think in reality, Everton just needs to find players who fix the situation now. You might not be able to find a player in January that's the new Richarlison or, the new Dominic Calvert. You just might not be able to. World Cup prices, especially on the market now as well. You're talking about players who knew what no one knew, and probably asking 6, 7, 10, 15 million more than they would have in a lot of cases. Cody Gakpo, been around for years. He's 23 now. I remember watching Cody when he was 18, 19, breaking through as Marcel Brands was leaving PSV. Why hasn't anyone bought him in those 5 years? And he's available now, but because he's done well in the World Cup, £50 million. Don't get me wrong, he's developed in that time, but it's one of those things where the market's going to be very stretched. How much do Everton have to play with? How much wages are they willing to take on? Because again, I don't know if people spoke about this before, but to move to the northwest, it's 10, 15 grand extra a week than living in London. I know London's more expensive, but players want to live in London because they can get in. Your French, you can get to Lille or whatever in 2 hours on the train. So it's very different than trying to entice players to London. Manchester United, even under Ferguson, struggled at times against Chelsea. Couldn't get Hazard because he wanted to live in London. So there's a lot of different factors they have to take into place. Like, I work with the Plymouth Argyle down on the south coast. It's very difficult to track players who are northern lads down there at times because it's so far away. It's a great club. It's just difficult sometimes with the situation that you're in.
No, it's that interesting. I always feel there is value out there.
Do you know what? I used to be very critical of everyone because obviously when you're on Twitter, before I started working football, even though I sort of knew bits, I didn't know everything. And I think once you work in recruitment departments and understand how difficult it is and what you're up against, you can have I've had people in the building, a club's waiting to sign, the deal falls through. What can you do? What can you do?
It is difficult.
A player who's a star one of the stars of this World Cup was one of those players. It's one of those things that happens. I'll tell you off camera.
Yeah, no worries. The Blue says, Andy, how do you think Victor how'd you say his name?
Which one? Who's he play for?
Tsaisangoff.
Who? Tsaisangoff.
Tsaisangoff, is that
I don't think you say it like that.
I can never remember how to say it. I just take the T out and call him Tsigankov.
Victor's someone who's been good the last 4 or 5 years.
He's been mentioned a few times, hasn't he?
I think his peak... Is the interest in him peaked about a year and a half ago. He had an injury, and he's been coming back from that injury slowly. I'd say he's not been great. I don't know, as a flyer, yeah, you might take the chance on him. It's a risk, though. There's no, Michaelenko's adapted reasonably well to the Premier League. I think it is a difficult adaptation. Mudryk, I know people love Mudryk. They watch him highlights of the Champions League where he's doing these lazy dribbles. Watch him in general play. He's going to have to learn a lot if he goes to an Arsenal. He's not the complete player. He's a good player when he gets on the ball, exciting, but there's lots of different parts to his game that he needs to work on. Yeah. So it's just about what you need and what you want to balance it with.
Sam C says Pochettino's interview on TalkSport was interesting. He wants to return to the Prem as soon as the World Cup is over.
Who's under pressure? That's what you've got to think. Which managers are under pressure in the league that he could conceivably go? So I don't think any of the top six particularly under pressure. Maybe Graham Potter, but not really. I don't think Chelsea are going to twist yet. So
Everton?
I don't know.
Could Pochettino come to Everton?
It depends what his expectations are. I think when Carlo Ancelotti came to Everton, I think we sold him the dream, didn't we? And I think at the time we probably thought we could manoeuvre and do things.
The
reality is much harsher, and that's why, let's be honest, he went back to Real Madrid where he's much more comfortable. He's playing with managing great players. He wasn't really suited to what Everton wants to do. Great manager, got some good results, but it's about suitability to a job. Yeah. And with Pochettino, yes, he did well at Southampton, did really well at Tottenham. Has he done this type of project before? Yes. But Frank's still the Everton manager. Until Frank's not the Everton manager, then the Pochettino thing's just fantasy talk, isn't it?
Yeah, interesting one, isn't it? It is an interesting one. Alexander Hoffler says, what striker would Andy get for Everton? That'd be the cheapest and most effective.
I'd have to look. This is very different. I drive Baz mad with this. He texts me all the time. What do you reckon we should sign? I don't watch Everton level players often enough anymore.
I just want to see if you say the ones I say. That's
there's some good ones, but obviously some good ones knocking around Europe. But it's just, I'd have to think about it and have a look at the data, see what type of chances Everton create. So Everton, in my mind, Everton are a crossing team, but I can't remember Everton don't cross a lot now because of Neil Maupay.
There's no one in there.
And also the decision making of certain players that they often tend to shoot from wide areas rather than putting the ball into the box, which again affects strikers. So you'd have to look at what type of chances Everton create, how the build of players, who's available, who's suited to that, whether whether it's someone for now or it's someone for you can develop. You can play 10 games this season. A lot of factors in it.
The Blues says Poch will wait for Conte to leave, I think.
Yeah, maybe, and I think Antonio.
I don't think that's that far away, to be honest.
I don't think it's close, but as you say, it's end season, next winter window. Yeah, and don't get me wrong, Conte's a great manager. It's just that if he doesn't get what he wants, it's trouble. And often they've bought Jed Spence 19 million. I think it was talked about roughly from March last season, and he's saying he's a player for the future, but he won't be there in the future. Conte, so basically saying, I don't want to play Jed Spence because he's not ready to play for me. No. So he puts you in difficult situations like that, Conte.
Claire says, where does Andy think Everton will finish this season?
14th, 15th.
Yeah. I said the start between 11th and 14th.
And again,
to be honest, that was based on Dom being fit for most of the season.
You should realistically, if you do sign someone early in January, they can take the pressure off Dom. And if you can get to middle of January without playing him and getting him fit, properly fit, I think we tend to bring him back in quite. I'm not going to criticise the medical staff, the manager, because I'm not there in the situation. However, he tends to have to come back because we haven't got anyone else. I know Maupay's played, but again, I think the manager's confidence, and you look at the Crystal Palace game at the end of last season, the game before that, Dom's presence makes a big difference. Even 75% fit for us, he makes a difference. Yeah. We need to get him back on the pitch.
This is an interesting one from Mike because he's a goalie.
Mike Osgrove.
Yeah.
Hi, Mike.
Said if Everton sold Pickford for 25 million, I think they get more than that, to be honest.
It depends on his contract. If he signs the contract, and the rumours is he's going to, then it's a completely different price because you've got. But if 25 million,
Chelsea won him. Chelsea, it's just whatever. But if he did, what keeper do you think you should go for?
Again, it depends. It depends on what. Again, keepers now. Obviously, it'd have to be someone who's good with his feet.
Ned, just come and ask Piv a couple of these while I just get me and him a drink.
Yeah, sure.
For the second half, mate. Is Ned there?
He's got his earphones on, I think.
No, he's alright, just coming on. Yeah, goalies are tough one, aren't they? Because obviously we talked about Sakosha and people like that.
He's on the bench. He's had a couple of bad seasons.
But I suppose there's others, isn't it? Just have a little chat with Andy while I just get the drink. Make sure you hit that like button. Thank you very much, and subscribe. This is kicking back off in a minute. So, just get on with it.
Water, please, Bears.
Yeah.
Is the questions for him already?
Well, ask him a question if there isn't one. I mean, you didn't have to put it up your top, given that I'll be back now.
Oh, are you?
Once just come and get in contact,
Andy?
don't you? And Edward.
No one's asked about football.
What's
It's
going on?
December.
Have you got a goatee? I never even noticed this before.
Well, it's just a
You
bit of stubble.
You starting in a
I had a
play,
shave today.
shoot a period play.
It's just to cover this chin. It's December now.
You remember the House of Stewart?
No. I'm auditioning
Have you
for
ever
a
heard
play.
of King Charles II?
Yeah, from
Oh God.
Braveheart.
No, that was Long John.
Longshanks.
Longshanks, that's it.
Who was
John.
his son, King Charles?
No, King James was.
Oh, King James.
History lesson for you. Any history buffs out there?
Why is the chat disconnected? What's going on? Anyway, I'm going to ask you my own question.
Oh God.
It's December now.
Yeah,
Which
what am I getting
means
for
it's
Christmas?
Christmas. What's your favourite Christmas film?
Favourite Christmas film?
Can I guess?
Yeah, go on.
Scrooged.
No, come on. I do love Bill Murray, but it's a Wonderful Life, the Frank Capra classic.
Really, yeah?
Oh, come on. It's literally the meaning of Christmas, giving back to people, family. You know, that's what... To be honest with you, people obviously think of Christmas as like, you know, middle of 34th Street with Santa and all that.
It's a very wholesome one,
To
isn't it?
me, it's about the wholesome family thing, Christmas. Spending time with your loved ones, giving back to people.
That's good. I'm getting presents. Claire says, do you think the McNeil signing will work?
It depends how Everton use him and if they can find a role for him. You know, Dwight, a couple of years ago, had quite good potential. Obviously, it's stalled at Burnley because he's in a system where his attacking talent has been sort of nullified. It depends how they use them. It's, you know, any signing can be 50-50 because of different variables. It just depends how it goes, really.
Paige, just restart that timer, please. So click on watch along on the stream deck. And then the one that's next to the, and then click it again. There you go. And then just set it to a minute in. There you go. That'll do, yeah.
That'll do, little donkey, that'll do.
Who does the PIV think Belgium should have had as their manager?
I don't know. You'd have to be. Usually, they end up with someone. You know, usually they pick someone Belgium, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Like he and Van Ezenbroek.
Well, let's go back to when. So 2016 when Martins took the job. That was when De Bruyne was at Wolfsburg, wasn't he? So he was pretty much in.
I think he just signed for City just after that. Yeah.
Hazard was in his peak. Lukaku was scoring 20 goals every season.
You've got again.
Company was playing.
Again, it'd be easy for me to go sign Carlo Ancelotti's manager, but there's only a finite amount of resources for them to pay a manager. I'm sure Roberto is well paid, but is he paid as much as Gareth Southgate? I severely doubt it because the FA in our country earn much more than the Belgian FA.
He's being paid for multiple jobs, isn't he? I imagine.
Well, yeah, and that's probably how they kept him by giving him that extra role, but he could add on to his salary. Romzon.
Is he?
Yeah, CD Romzon.
Have a go.
Oh. Belgium need to win this game, don't they? Oh, is that Lauren Georges? She's been excellent on punditry. The French international girl, yeah.
Mike Cosgrove said he likes Jan Sommer. Is that from Mönchengladbach?
Swiss, yeah. He'd be all right short term, I think. I think he's been a good goalkeeper.
Years ago.
Was he? You're thinking Jäger Macho, aren't you?
No, he was linked.
Macho man.
Macho man, remember him? Macho man. Summer's been around forever, yeah. Nice one. Big Ron. Nice one, Ned. Top man.
It's the first time it's ever been called, Jesus. What are you doing to me?
Oh. De Bruyne stands it up, back post, Ron. Into the goalie's at least there's a little bit of...
So weird seeing Robert nowhere, because obviously we saw him with the dreadlocks and then he went with the skinhead, didn't he, in Everton?
He was better with the dreads, wasn't he? Yeah. He was more fearful at Everton. He looked like he just looked a bigger.
Do you know what? I always remember the goal against Liverpool where it was 3-3. And I'm wondering why we never see him do headers like that more often. It was just
weird, wasn't it?
Yeah. But all neck muscle.
It was a great goaler. Hit the likes and subscribe, says Rondon the Legend. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Solomon.
Thank you very much. Where are we? The Blues says Summer's been the most underrated keeper for the last 5 years.
Depends how what's underrated and overrated. In Germany, he was certainly rated.
He's out of contract in the summer, says Steve Kelly. as Kramaric is in the box for Croatia.
The ball to Sosa. And couldn't cross it once in the game. They got something decent out of it. He's just standing there. What are they doing?
See, a goal for Croatia practically puts them through because Belgium need two then.
No.
There's a chance here, Kramaric. Oh, good save. Courtois needed to beat. Was it that Kovacic?
Size and you need
Kovacic,
to be... Kovacic, yeah.
The other corner, didn't it?
Yeah. Cans are still in this game on the other side, aren't they? They've probably kicked off 2 minutes ago, but we're 2 minutes behind. You're never going to be Courtois centrally.
No. Really had to be in the corner, that. Decent save, though, but you'd expect him to save it, wouldn't you, to be fair? There you go. It's your corner, they've worked it back. We've had 50 minutes of the game, and the cross comes in. Edge of the box, chance to shoot over the bar. Sousa smashing one over the crossbar. In the other game, it's still Canada 1, Morocco 2. Morocco on course to win the group.
Oh, interesting.
I wonder what odds you'd have got for that at the start. For Morocco to win the group.
Quite a lot. I think you'd have got like at least 10 to 1, wouldn't you?
Especially Croatia and Belgium in the group.
Yeah, big hitters, aren't they? I think African teams are generally undervalued, really.
Yeah.
I think with the amount of African players that play in Europe now, another plug for Market Insights podcast about African players with Tom Legg, listen to that. But no,
you can be a bit more upfront than that, if you want. Just plug it properly if you want to talk about it.
We've done a podcast with Tom Legg, who's a guy, very interesting guy, who's taught me a lot about African football. He's lived in Africa most of his life and, coached in different areas of Africa. So, and each part of Africa is quite different in terms of how football works and what type of players have been developed out of there. Yeah. Like there was a time when with Daku, what's his name? Is Daku Patson Daku?
Yeah.
Daku, sorry. Daku they came out of a team, I can't remember the first part of the name, it's Celtic, and they developed 3 or 4 players at the time because they were funded well. Right. But now they're not funded as well, they're not producing as many players. So at certain times, there's different leagues or different parts or different academies. Yeah. Generation Foot obviously have produced players from that. Sadio Mane being one of the main ones, Ismail Assar as well. And there's the JMG Academy, which the Torres came out of, in Ivory Coast. Yeah. So there's different like machinations to Africa. So it's an interesting podcast, It's in a region of the world now where a lot of players are coming from Africa and playing at high level in Europe. I know they always have, but there's more and more and more now. So, and the different levels as well. There's a lot of, I'd say, obviously, Africa's a continent, Brazil's a country. Brazil is still probably the number 1 in terms of players playing all over the world. I think. Yeah. But Africa is as a continent's not far behind that now in terms of Africans playing at every level in every different country. So it's an interesting podcast in terms of finding out where the game's heading, really, and where the next talent's coming from. Yeah.
Very athletic, a lot of the African players as well, aren't they?
Well, so a lot of them are good technical players, yeah. Well, athletic, strong, powerful, good game intelligence, good emotional intelligence. They're very well coached. Yeah. Now, I think people, I think Africa for clubs was a bit of an unknown because obviously there's not the league, there are formalised leagues there, but it's not the same standard of pitches and stuff that they are here. It's all getting a lot better. There's certain countries that really put money into football, and there's a lot of been produced. There's obviously Nigeria produced a lot of good players. So Ivory Coast, Cameroon, Senegal, and it's just about that. Interesting how they produce and how the academies are set up and who sets up the academies. It's very interesting.
What was it? I'm watching the FIFA Uncovered thing, that documentary, which is
crackers,
unbelievable. But that's the money that the African nations were given, and obviously the corruption, for want of a better word. Has stopped a lot of those clubs. Chance for Croatia, deflect. Good save, Courtois. A lot of that money went into people's pockets rather than into creating African academies. And you just think if that money would have gone there, you wonder how many more players would have been produced.
I think you're going to see a lot of. I think the way it's going to work, a lot of Premier League clubs, a lot of European clubs start their own academies. Obviously, there's the famous Right to Dream Academy that FC Nordsjælland have got, where they bring through a lot of Ghanaian but other nation players, and obviously Kamali and Sulemana, and one of the stars of the World Cup, Mohamed Kudus, came through that academy.
Good save again, Courtois from
came through that academy. So they've had a lot of success, and they also send lads to college in the United States. They're not just trying to produce footballers; they're giving people a better quality of life afterwards. So I think a lot of clubs will try and do that. You know, hopefully that becomes more of a norm, giving people chances from different parts of the world.
Brilliant.
I think that's the difference between this World Cup than 20, 30 years ago. There's good players in almost every team.
Every team.
So Iran, generally a team that's qualified because of the weaker qualification process. But they've got 2 Champions League strikers in the team. They've got Azmoun and Taremi, who play for Champions League teams. That didn't happen 20 or 30 years ago. So you've got a lot more quality dispersed around the world now.
Yeah.
Not Australia, to be fair, but they've done amazingly well.
And yeah, they've done brilliant.
Yeah, they have. I don't. Their squad's generally not as good as many others who haven't qualified for the next round.
Just shows the team ethic.
Team ethic. They balance each other. Big Mitchell Duke.
Some good saves from Courtois there.
Bit unsure with the technique, but he got it away.
Got it away, didn't he? And this one again, he's just got it out of there. It's a better save. Called 3 times in the opening 10 minutes. He's had to make saves for this second half.
Croatia have been on top most of the game.
They have.
It's not a good performance by the Belgians at all.
Yeah.
I think Roberto will be regretting saying
Here they go again. Croatia on the attack. Kramaric needs to shows it, but he's going to go on the outside. No, he's stayed, but now Kramaric isn't in the middle.
Come on, Borny. Give Borny a chance to do something, hasn't it? He's been crossing them for fun for Stuttgart for a couple of years now.
Oh, go on, nice football.
No, he's
get in the box, though. He's there in the left pot.
No. Just pass the ball to him.
Kramaric, get in the middle. There's no point coming here, coming short, and then there's no one in it.
Quicker movement, quicker.
He looks like Jonathan Woodgate.
Great left foot.
He's gone full. No, he has. He's put some lovely crossing, but he's gone full Woodgate there. The headband, the scally curls.
You mean the old Real Madrid Woodgate?
Just gone Real Madrid Woodgate.
Since off and scored the goal in his first game.
Unbelievable.
There's Gianni, the hero of the World Cup.
With his white, has he got his white trainings on again today? Mike also says, what do you think of João Virginia?
I haven't seen much of him on loan this season, to be
He's
fair.
doing well at Canberra, he's doing all right, playing every game.
The only issue with the Dutch league, I'd say, is it doesn't really test you physically, and João has had trouble in terms of shot stopping's been an issue at times when he's been on loan, but also that the ability to deal with crosses and the size of the strikers and the size of the defenders are generally smaller in Holland than they are here, and also weight-wise, I think Harry Kane's like 10 kilograms more than the average of a centre-back in Holland. But yeah, it's good for him to go and play. I don't think he'll ever make it at Everton, I'll be honest.
Okay.
I just...
Well, Everton are bringing in...
It's no harm, because let's be honest, it's really hard to make it at Everton nowadays.
Yeah. Well, Everton are bringing in Harrington, is it?
David Harrington.
Yeah, he's coming in.
Really good shot stop. He's a bit older, 22.
22, but...
if you can send him out on loan for a year, maybe in the League One club, get him going.
I think he's the one they're looking at now. Yeah, obviously, they've still got Tyler and they've got Billy Crellin, and
I think Billy Crellin's there to play for the under-23. I don't think they ever expect anything of
Crellin. No, and I think the thing about it is it's games, isn't it, for him, and then he'll get a chance. They'll be looking at the Everton tracks to get him a
kiss of death. You say give Sosa the ball, puts out for a goal kick and then a ball cross. That's the World Cup in a nutshell.
He'll be back in a minute.
No, that's what happens, honestly. There's so many World Cup kisses to death.
The Blues says Sosa's left peg. I think he's saying it's excellent. Alexander Hoffler says, what do you think of Albin Lafont?
Yeah, Albin's obviously been around. He started playing in goal when he was 17. Was it for Toulouse, wasn't it? Yeah. It was Toulouse. He's been at Nantes for a couple of seasons. Now, didn't work at Fiorentina for. He's been good this season. Again, he's what now? He's only 23 or 24. He's still got, he's still developing as a goalkeeper. I think he's got some of the issues that Mestier's got in terms of sometimes his concentration goes.
Okay.
I think as he gets older, he'll be a really good goalkeeper. I just think now, I think teams are a bit put off by the fact that he still makes a couple of errors. But no, he's obviously been a super talent since he was young. Not many people are Buffon, though, coming at 17 and become the goalkeeper, become a super goalie.
I'm not a lover of Melier, I must admit.
I like him. The reason I like him probably, though, is because I saw him when he was a kid.
I'm always surprised when he keeps a clean sheet. I just look at him and think he's just not very good.
To be fair, the way Leeds play, though, I think he faces, and I'd have to check this, but I think he faces the highest quality shot because of how open they are. Yeah. It's very difficult to save everything if you're getting people burned down on you.
Of course.
No, there's the opposite side to it, and this is what I call Simon Mignolet syndrome. Is you watch your goalkeeper save 100 shots, but when they concede, it doesn't matter because they're playing on what's considered a poor team. Yeah. And you buy them, and then they only have to make a couple of good saves, and they let it go. And that concentration has to be there.
Croatian Ian Rush there. Yeah. Rush. Steve Kelly says with the Corey and Davis had a contract this summer and Garner aging out. Are we in the position where we need 2 centre midfielders in the summer?
Yeah, you do. I think you've got to, I think, you know, succession plan's key. I think to get Ghana, you need to bring what we call it, you know, an expert defensive midfielder, someone that's this specialty centre defensive midfielder that's their role. I think to develop behind Ghana now. You don't have to go out and pay 40 million for that type of player. You can you might be able to find that player in France or in Germany or another nation, maybe even Portugal. Some good players in Portugal, you know, for 15 million. And if you believe that their player could develop in a year's time into the start, then take that chance. I think Everton have got to be, you know, I think, you know, you want to have quality with every signing, but you can't make every sign for 35 million because we haven't got that money to spread around. The squad needs different things. So Nane was just
De Bruyne, what a pass that is.
Oh, he's got his goal. Oh, he's going to save.
Lukaku, 1-0. Oh, he's missed.
Oh, he hit the post, can't believe it.
Romelu Lukaku with no goalie
foot,
has hit the inside of the post and it's come out. Carrasco should have scored. Kevin De Bruyne, what a pass. It's a throw. I mean, it's a Croatian throw if anything it is. How Romelu Lukaku has missed that, we'll never know. No goalie.
Did everything except at the net.
Wow.
Great pass there. Ran his feet, pushed out.
Carla says it was easier to score.
On his wrong foot, though. He had to bend around the keeper, bend around the player. Look at the angle when you see it now. You see it, look, the player's in the way. It's not as easy a chance as you think. No, I think that's
big moment.
I think it's fair to say that wasn't as easy a chance as it looked.
Big moment. It's come out. All Kovacic and Modric not happy there. The free kick. Bought that for £3 off Rom. The Blues says, is there a position we're actually shorted in? Because besides the goalie,
everything evolves, doesn't it? So year on year, players age, don't they?
What a block.
Tackle that was, by the way.
What a block that was.
Yeah, it was hard to chance than people thought on his wrong foot. You know, players age all the time. You know, 2 years ago we signed Alan Decore, and with their ages, it was only ever going to be short term. So you got to think in 2 years' time, I'm going to have to replace these. So to replace them now, actually no, we need to sign. We need wingers like they did when we signed Gray and Townsend. So the money has to go on Gray and Townsend because we need wingers. And that's why maybe Everton haven't got a run of, you know, the squad's not in the situation where the fans want it to be. Because unfortunately, due to the financial fair play, you can't go out and go, I'll fix all these positions in one summer. It's a gradual process. They need to do it over. I don't
think we need everything.
No, we don't. But you don't, because obviously you don't need a goalkeeper. Because you might need a backup goalkeeper, but you know, decent backup goalkeepers, you know, you should be able to find one for nothing. But
good move again, Belgium in
terms of starters, no, you don't. Everton don't need. I can't believe that happened then. What was that header? The goalkeeper had it all day.
Romelu Lukaku was just...
No, watch the goalkeeper literally...
No, I don't know what the goalie's doing, but
he was going to collect the cross, the player heads it for no reason, it goes over the goalkeeper. Watch.
Wasn't it about 17 foot out the ball?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Why is the player
Why has he headed that? Rom's headed it over, but...
Where's the shout? Out.
It's miles. I could see in normal time, it's miles out, but what's the defender doing? Lovren.
And he misses again.
And Lukaku with an open goal heads it over the bar, but it was out anyway, wouldn't have stood.
No, I don't think Everton need Everton in the first team. We just need in terms of balance of squad. Yeah. You need to, it's ever evolving. You might decide that, you know, managers change the mind of players all the time. You might decide that a certain player, they want a different type of player, so they might sell that player to get a different type that they want in. It depends what the manager wants to do at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
Well, I haven't foresee the squad going.
So I think it's like that. You know, we'll need 2 centre midfield. Everton won't bring 2 centre midfield players in the summer.
No, they might not even be.
James Garner's there. He's 21. They'll just look at him to play the 6.
I don't think he's a 6 though.
That's what I think they'll do, though, because he likes to get on the ball, be a different type of 6 than what Garner is.
But if you took Garner,
we should have got Mo Kamara. We know this.
Yeah,
I like Garner. I think he'll still do a job for another season after this one, but. We will need something in there, but I think they look at Isaac Price. That's the situation
you're in, is that you go, yeah, maybe you would do some surgery on that sense of midfield, but actually we still need to fix other positions first. And then that's
you've got to look at it, haven't you? You just said the nail on the head before, is that we can't do it all at once. So
no, it's ever evolving. Only Man City can really do
exactly.
Like that,
so you've got to piece it together, haven't you? And for me, just this is why I think this window's really easy, because it's like the house is on fire. It's just better put the top floor out, mate. The forward area, it's basic. Everton can get 2 players.
But then, say for example, you know, touch wood, whatever the wood is on this couch, that two centre-backs got injured, then the situation arises, we have to spend 20 million on Ben Godfrey because we didn't have any centre-backs at the time, and that's also an issue.
We've still got 46 centre-backs.
No, I know. I think we're fine. I know
what you mean. Yeah.
You know, say, for example, Jordan Pickford got injured.
Listen, things can always change. That's what football is.
There's always loans there, of course.
But what I'm saying to you is, for Everton right now, the recruitment team's job should be really simple.
Well, I think they know that. I think that the forward area is the one where, you know, the numbers are saying, screaming, help me, aren't they? So, and I think they've made the noises, and I'm sure Frank said to you on that interview that you're looking forwards.
Yeah, well, I openly admitted it, didn't he, on the interview?
If anyone hasn't seen that, it's on YouTube now.
Here it is. Get on it.
See, that's what you do as a guest, you plug.
Class, Andy. I've told you to plug your podcast, which was great. Unlucky. No, but I think, I'll be honest, I didn't expect them to be so, when I said that about the forwards in January, I thought he'd be a little bit more defensive with it and go, we'll have to wait and see.
I think he wants competition. I think he understands that to get the best in anything, you need competition. You need people pushing people. Don't be wrong, I know most are probably self-competitive, I think, but Liverpool have always tried to sign players, you know, to compete with other players. You know, they had Mane and Diaz last season, didn't they, for example? So it's just about making sure you've got that competition.
The player I always mention, because you pointed them out to me a number of years ago.
Don't say it out loud.
Surely we can mention.
You can if you want.
We can mention Mathew, can't we?
If you want to mention Mathew, you can.
So he's obviously doing well at Lorient again. Last year he was a little bit hit and miss, but he's still done okay. He's a player I think Everton could go and get, and I think he does two. I think he can do two positions. Generally he is through the middle, of course he is, but if you had a proper flat three in midfield, I think he could play off to the left with that left foot as well. You wouldn't necessarily play him there, but he can do the powerful through the middle striker. He's a little bit different profile than Dom, obviously, because he's a runner as well, isn't he? But Everton could get him for less than £20 million.
It depends. He's had a great season so far, and if Lorient continue in the vein of form, they won't want to lose. And this is the problem with January. It'll cost you more in January when teams are thinking, maybe we can get Europe, and that, how much is Europe going to make us compared to what we sell? We can always sell them in the summer. So there's the balance that teams go through, and that's why you end up paying more for players. You know, often the big transfers in January are the ones that have been rolling over in the summer. Bruno Fernandes, Virgil van Dijk, them two rolled over from the previous summers, didn't they? And they've already been talks and the price has already been set. Whereas I think if you're going to buy someone in January, you'd end up in a situation where if the team's doing well, it's good if the team's not in a good situation, they'll just take the money, or they're in mid-table and going nowhere, then you might be able to get a decent price. But then if that's always the concern, really, that you're going to end up having to pay over the odds. And every player's got a price, but again, if you've got to look at value. If you think you're going to pay 35 million for someone who actually really only value at 25, do you need that player really that badly to spend that 10 million?
Well, Dembele's one, isn't he? Who's out of contract. You know, looking at players out of contract, and there's a few this summer. Chance. Modric. There's not tons, don't get me wrong, but you know, someone like Moussa Dembele, maybe at
knows the league, grew up here,
Dembele,
there's players like that.
He'd improve Everton straight away, wouldn't he? Because
he'd offer a different,
profile,
and he understands what the expectation of playing. He played for Celtic, of course. Yeah, I think Dembele's an interesting one. I don't know the situation with his wages, his agents, whatever not, but you know, he's an interesting player, definitely.
It's just, I mean, you know, there's a lot. I mean, even for other teams, not just Everton, but there will be players around. There'll be teams that are wanting to do, you know, business better from Lukaku.
The information's key, really. You know, Leon may say no, we're not going to sell him. You know what I mean? Or we don't want to. John Textor now owns Leon. He obviously has got investments in Crystal Palace. He may say I don't want to sell him to a Premier League club. It happens.
Yeah.
Then you'd have to do a pre-contract. I think if you can agree a pre-contract, that obviously forces players, and I know not the best players to mention, but Aiden McGeady, when he was at Spartak Moscow, we agreed the deal, didn't we? And that made it easier for us to get him because we already had that. It was done. It was done, but you know, I don't know whether Everton might just go loans though. Maybe they won't want to commit a load of money.
We've got 2 loans, haven't we?
It depends what's available. Again, I'm not, as I said, I don't work with a team at Everton's level. I haven't heard who is and who is.
Of course.
What the prices are.
No, we're just
of course.
We're just doing the theoreticals, aren't we?
Shooting the proverbial.
Yeah, of course, yeah. you think there's a question here from Benjamin? Do you think any of the Saudis or Iranians could play in the Premier League?
Well, Taremi and Azmoun, I think, are good players.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say the Saudis, particularly that I've noticed, could play in the Premier League. No. I'm trying to think of anything.
I think he says there's a Saudi midfielder. It's Kana, isn't it?
Yeah, he's all right. Yeah,
he was all right. He's quite powerful.
I just international football is completely different. The Premier League, it's much slower. You know, you play again. He's playing in a system that allows him to get around the pitch and tackle.
Yeah.
If he was on a team that used to use the ball more, would he be as good? I don't know. I can't say I've seen enough of them. You know, but I would say based on what I've seen, no, I don't think there's many Saudi or any Saudi players that can play. You know, their best, even like a Qatari team, their best player, Akif, was at Villarreal and couldn't get a sniff, at all. So, again, that also moving over here, completely different culture, completely different place. It's not easy.
What do you think of Chuck Weezy at Villarreal? Because obviously linked heavily with Everton in the summer.
Player's got a lot of talent. He's shown it in fits and starts.
Doesn't score though, does he?
He's similar to Ismail Assar, and I know Ismail Assar's here, but when he was 19, 20, you thought, wow, this player's got all the tools. And we've never seen it consistently. Ismail Assar should be the best player every week in the Championship. Half the time he is and half the time he isn't. And I think, teams are reticent paying big money for players that, don't get me wrong, wingers are by nature mercurial, but you still want them contributing in certain games. You don't want them disappearing out of games. And I think that's where the risk with Chuck Weezy be. He's certainly a talented footballer. Everton maybe want to look at someone with more of a goal record, someone who's got goals.
Got to, haven't we?
I know people, it depends who you're looking at, but you want someone who's got that record of goals. Not a record of goals in the Premier League, and it always doesn't translate. But that same composure, confidence, that know-how of scoring goals is always important when you consider signing a striker. I'll use an example. Last season at Argyle, we didn't feel we had enough goals from midfield. Yeah. We looked at players in the summer, found players like Morgan Whittaker, who
had a record of scoring.
Yeah, who scored for Lincoln when he was in League One, scored for Derby when he was in the youth system. And he's come in and done well. We signed.
He got goals.
Yeah, it's one of our top scorers. Finnazaz, same when he was at Newport last year, scored goals. That's what you have to do. You have to look at what you missed and fill it. Well,
it's the composure. I
said
this I was talking to Ped about it. It's not always.
It's types as well.
You can't always translate across. But if I'm scoring goals every week, playing in a weaker league, if I still get that same opportunity in the Premier League, I'm more comfortable. We've seen Tom, I don't know whether you've seen it, but Tom Davis in the Bournemouth game in the cup goes clean through with the keeper. Goalie lays down, he puts it, sticks in the stand. And Tom Cannon probably would have scored
because he's scoring
goals, and sometimes, and that for me transcends with transcends with if you're a regular goal scorer in the Dutch league. Okay, you might not get 20 goals that you get in Holland, but you might get 6 or 7 or 8 that we don't have. And therefore, and that's why Everton have got to look. And I remember speaking to someone about Everton who works in the game, was like, they've signed some decent players at times, but the biggest thing they never ever sign is goals.
Oh yeah, I remember Tony Grant telling me that Everton have let all the goals out of the team over the last few years. And I mean, Tony was probably right actually at the time. I was like, I don't know, but no, maybe we have intended to sign. It's guaranteed goals costs a lot of money, but players who have scored goals and could potentially score goals, maybe we haven't signed those players. We've as good as Iwobi is in terms of creativity, and
never gets goals.
He's not a goal scorer. That's the one part of his game.
I mean, look at Sigurdsson. Sigurdsson was there'd be so many games where he'd walk around the pitch
and get you one goal,
but he was capable to nick a goal, wasn't it? So
Everton. I think you look at Gray. Gray's never really had a history of scoring goals. Anthony Gordon was obviously an academy player. You don't know where he scored goals for the under 21s, but stepping up, it's been a bit more difficult for him to score goals. And just Townsend, I know he got a few goals last season, but never prolific bar free kicks, maybe the odd super goal. But that's you've got to buy guarantee. I'm sure they've thought about this and they're looking at this, but it's hard to find guaranteed goals.
Yeah, of course it is. Everyone wants it.
Hundreds of millions in the hope of finding guaranteed goals. I think, it's very
tough, isn't it?
Yeah, strikers, as I often say to people, strikers are unicorns, aren't they? You know what I mean? They're the great ones who, did Leicester when they signed Jamie Vardy for 1.5 million, think he'd scored 20 Premier League goals? I very much doubt it. They thought, he'll do well for us maybe in the Championship, and maybe, we can play back up in the Premier League. Players kick on. So you're not always expecting players to kick on as much as they do. some certain players just find that niche and where they hit a run of form confidence. And let's be honest, Vardy's become a much better player than he ever was when he was in the Championship. His all-round game's improved. So he's a self-improver. They're the types of players sometimes you want, people who are determined to self-improve. You had Wayne Rooney on here. I don't know if Wayne told you the story, but there's stories about Wayne where his mates could throw the ball longer than him. A couple of weeks later, Wayne came back to play with his mates, and lo and behold, Wayne could throw it 10 yards longer because Wayne has that competitive spirit, that self-improvement when he wants to be better.
It's huge, isn't it?
Yeah.
Having that thing.
That's Wayne Rooney. It's easy going over, Wayne Rooney, but that's the.
Yeah, but that's the
that's what you want. That's
willingness to want to be better.
Look at Ronaldo. I know Ronaldo's not everyone's favourite person at the moment, but what a self-improver, you know what I mean, in terms of athleticism. Anyone who doubted Ronaldo, he scored goals when he first came to Man United. He was known for doing those step overs and like little tricks, and then it just exploded because he knuckled down.
Because I'm a great believer. If you just keep doing it and doing it and doing it,
well, you've got that level of talent, that athletic ability. You keep working on it.
Even with players who, one of the biggest things, you have more.
No, I'm not a big orange chocolate fan, to be fair.
Oh, but that's the cake. Okay. One of the biggest improvements, albeit the bar was really low, and then it still remained low. As Croatia have got a chance in the box, cut back.
There's 4 men in there, there's 4 defenders.
Decision was Strachwilesi. Okay, not very good. Played a couple. No, stay with me.
Where you're going with this?
Stay with me. Stay with me. Right. Go back to where you were. Right.
Chuck on, son.
I know. Do you look at him? I've asked him to get an advert ready or something. He wouldn't have heard me. Yeah. He hears a little rustle of a Jaffa cake, and he's up like a rat up a drain pipe.
A fellow hair biscuit.
So therefore, Moyes took him out. He played him the first couple of games and then took him out the team and basically made him stay an hour a day after everyone else and work on controlling the ball, keeping hold of a ball. And then when he put him back in January because we needed him, the lad ends up getting a couple of goals, led the line, right? And what I'm saying is, players who've got far, far more ability than that, if they do the same type of work rate and effort, think how much they could improve. And you've just talked about someone who's turned into one of the greatest goal scorers ever, having that ability, good balling, having that ability and putting the work rate in and the graft in.
And that's about character, and I think that was what Moyes was really great at, finding the right characters at the right times. Phil Neville, was he the greatest footballer in the world? Absolutely not. However, did Phil set standards off the pitch? Did Phil improve players by setting those standards? You're damn right Phil did. And then you had those players who come from really top academies, like an Arteta, like a Pienaar, who set that technical standard bar for people. Carlo talks about it in his book, of course. It's about your standard bearers in the squad.
Of course,
No, and that was Moyes' greatest strength. Don't be wrong. Of course, Moyes had to take great risks because we didn't have any money to sign characters who weren't, the greatest characters, Royston Drenthe and Van der Meijden. But if they'd worked out like Pienaar did, because Pienaar had that supposed attitude issues, I can't imagine why, at Dortmund, got fear and lad and all.
Chance?
Just
should have rolled it off and got it back.
Just like a shit beyond him, but and that's where you find yourself sometimes, is that that Moyes had to take those chances. But in most cases, it was just it was
out of necessity. Wasn't it?
It was out of necessity because what else are you going to do?
Keep it. Good defending at the other end. Corner to Belgium. 77 minutes gone.
Be really bad at Belgium with this, but Croatia have not really done so.
Canada have equalised, I think.
No, it's bounced
come out. Oh my days, is that not gone in?
It's in, isn't it? Oh, it's not.
The referee would have gone like this.
How's that not gone in? Oh, Bono's not happy.
Wow. Bono is not happy there.
No, it looks like someone asked him to play. It's a beautiful day.
The streets have no name, he said.
That's it. Oh, that's no, it's bounced on the line. Oh!
Well, hang on, the referee, it's goal line technology, isn't it?
No, it's not going. Aldi missed from there.
Aldi missed that.
He's under it, to be fair, but yeah.
Hang on, let's see from here.
No, it's not. It's at the line, look. It's right.
It's right on the line. Oh, my word.
It's actually a whole ball, doesn't it?
Oh, he was pushed as he went for the header there,
Oh.
He was pushed as he went for the header. I mean, the TV's 11 minutes behind or something, so people are probably Canada are winning for everyone else is telling. It's a goal kick here to Croatia.
It's still 2-1, so I don't think it was given.
0-0, 78 minutes, 30 seconds gone in this one. Make sure you drop a like and a subscribe if you're very gratefully received by us as Modric gets the ball.
See, the only reason I know Rooney's stories is obviously I work with Neil Dewsnip, who was Wayne's academy coach at the time.
Oh,
so
yeah.
So
And
he loves telling me, well, I ask him all the time, tell me Wayne stories, to be fair, but he likes telling me Wayne stories, as everyone does. But no, in fair, do you know what? Neil once said to me that the only thing he ever had to tell Wayne to do was tuck his shirt in. He was that good. So.
No, he was an incredible footballer, but with the desire to want to do well.
Well, that's what the best do. I mean, Messi wants to be the best. Ronaldo wants to be the best. You know, you don't become the best by not wanting to be the best.
No. You can't rest.
Wants the example of the best who was determined to be the best. Michael Jordan, Jesus.
Exactly.
By any means necessary, you know.
Yeah. You can't just sit back and rest on your laurels, can you? There's not.
You know, look at Adriano, one of the most talented forwards of the last 30 years. Because of maybe demons, maybe because he just didn't have the desire to be a footballer. I know his dad passed away and what have you not. He just never was able to build upon that talent. But you know, Ronaldinho, you know, but people have to talk about Ronaldinho as this all-time great. It's for about 3-4 years really of really like great performance. Then it was downhill for him, which is sad. But again, he just didn't have the desire to stay at the top.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to Kaká, I don't know.
To who?
Kaká, never.
He was unbelievable.
He was unbelievable
wasn't he?
2 or 3 seasons, and then we went to Real Madrid. It was just over. Injuries, maybe. He always had knee problems, didn't he?
Yeah, look, goal line technology, no
right
goal.
on the line, yeah.
Fair play.
Half.
Fair play, yeah.
So we're 0.5, 1.5 to Canada.
2, 1.5. There we go. Jay says, application is going to be needed from our front line, even with additions.
Well, there's exactly improvement. Anyone needs to get the best out of the squad.
Yeah.
And I think Frank knows he needs to get more out of the squad. Don't know he's probably pulling his hair out too, but that's...
Well, he's defo pulling his hair out
that's,
if you look at some of the pictures.
Yeah, but that's the key, that you know, you need to get the best out of your squad and find that system that suits what you've got.
Every manager, regardless of whether you like him, don't like him, whatever, has got to improve the players he's got. It's the way it is. We can all make... That's a good ball.
No, just
they're in Croatia. There's options.
Offside. He's offside. Whoever was there was offside all the way through play. Then what was he doing?
They've got to improve. There's no excuses. You've got to improve what you have.
Modric special.
Thought he was just going to bingo it. He hasn't.
Wants it back though.
Croatia was playing on the edge of Belgium's box here, and it's going to end up
lovely outside of the
and
pass.
then he's a great outside of the foot.
Modric's never a great goal scorer, you know. He always
full Travella, no. It's a good run. He's thought about it.
He's going to have to kick.
It's another throw in. 80, coming up to 81-30. It's a throw in to Croatia, 10 yards from Belgium's corner flag. Jonathan Woodgate will take it.
Let's see the subs.
Okay, Thomas says, bloody hell, never thought Ped in a hat would look so different.
Thank you.
There you go. Where are we here?
Nice little intricate play. Doesn't come too much though.
Nope. The Blues says growing up is realising Neville was actually a good player. For us, I hated him when he came. He was good for Everton.
He was good. And
just the end.
I fell out with Phil at the end badly. Not personally because he didn't know me, but I just after that Wigan game,
Wigan game.
Yeah, it was over for them.
But Everton done what Everton did to quite a few players, though.
Well, we just didn't have the money.
Didn't have the money.
I think this is where Martinez didn't do amazing with the transfer, but I think this is what cost Martinez is that Everton didn't have the money to turn over. You had to rely on Osman Howard to stand too long. Yeah. Couldn't replace them. We just couldn't afford to replace them. And then once they were gone, we didn't have the money.
But he fell out with this Stan and he shouldn't have done. That was the biggest thing.
He fell out with him when this Stan was basically done, though. That you could see.
But he was better than what was coming in. That was the problem. As Croatia are on the break into the box.
You mean coming in was Funes Mori? Oh, a touch.
Imagine choosing Funes Mori over Virgil van Dijk, which was the straight choice.
Maybe Martinez is a big barbecue fan. Yeah. Maybe he thought he was his brother.
But that was the straight choice, though. And he also chose Oumar Niasse over Moussa Dembele. And Oumar Niasse was £8 million era.
Let's not get into that then.
So there you go. Where are we? The Blues says Rooney is a unicorn. The lad could have played almost anywhere.
He could have, yeah.
Yeah, but he did, because he didn't really have the academy coaching his ability out of him. This is why I don't agree with academies. It's why.
He wants to do. Let him be what he wants to be,
Yeah.
what he needs it to be, rather than saying no way and you're a left winger and you look like a left winger and sing like a left winger. He said you're a 10 striker. You play up front with Michael Symes and and you're the man.
And he still used to go out with his mates on the streets and play with the ball. Where these kids don't now. They have everything given to them.
You know,
They have boot deals and all that when they're 12. It's nonsense. It's nonsense.
His now agent was the right winger in that team, wasn't he? Or maybe I don't know the agency that he's with is the right winger in that team, Stephen Becker's.
Oh, Beck,
Agency,
yeah.
Same company, but yeah, so...
Stephen Beck, yeah. So,
and
there
of
you
course,
go.
Shuey as well, Argyle manager. That was the team that went to played Aston Villa in the Youth Cup final, wasn't it? Unfortunately, didn't go our way because the Moore brothers were particularly good at the time.
Luke Moore, yeah.
Stefan as well, yeah.
Stefan
was rated higher than Luke.
He was.
Yeah.
He was, yeah. Mad. Just shows you, doesn't it? Yeah. Doesn't always translate, does it?
No, exactly.
Doesn't always translate. You see those kids and you think, he'll defo make it him. He looks really good, you know. And you're looking at Wayne and that. Scored the header, didn't he? And, you know, Spurs was the one, wasn't it? Spurs away. That free kick when it come back to him and he hit it. But, incredible. Not a footballer.
It'd be nice to produce a Ross Barkley, wouldn't it, really?
What is the goalkeeper doing? What the hell? If they score now, this is 100% on the goalkeeper.
Should have come for that then.
He's throwing his hand at the defender. It was you, mate. You clown. They come for it.
Only now Belgium starting to get a bit.
Just, well, they know, don't they? There's 5 minutes left. Plus stoppage time. He got to score. Yeah, Ross Barkley.
So 6 minutes behind on the game.
On what? That?
Yeah, 6 minutes behind.
6?
Yeah.
What the hell? We probably do with the refresh net. Corner comes in. If you refresh the PlayStation, so that we can get this Morocco game up to date a little bit, I'll let you have a Jaffa cake. That'll be your payment. Oh, Croatia are making mistakes here. I can see Belgium nicking this. Look at him how quick he was over then. The promise of a Jaffa cake, he was over like I don't know what.
Like a rat up a drain pipe.
Wow, thanks.
Said take one, what are you doing?
Oh, so scandalous. There's Doku, Jeremy Doku, who was obviously in the Euros. Everyone were living the dream with him.
And the Academy product.
Belgium done anything?
They've had a couple of good chances, to be fair. It's just that they had 2 big chances.
Rom at the post and then headed one over the bar.
The keeper's out.
There's a chance. Oh, must be Mooney 8.
Oh,
crikey. Almost
Zorro there.
Croatia have had good chances though, and they're certainly decision making, as we were saying before. Shut up, doesn't it, Rom, does it? Oh, it does. Thought it the defender. It's Lukaku, that.
Good old Rom.
Wow, I thought it was Zorro like you, but it was Rom.
The mask.
Oh.
He became mean.
Mad.
With the top over his head.
Rather dead than red. Says, been loving these streams, lads. Would you take Trossard? Do you think we could get him in Jan and he would vastly improve us immediately?
Not coming. You're not getting that again for. They'll overcharge it as well. Like Brighton will want 30-40 million.
He's had a contract in the summer though, isn't
No,
he?
he's
Or has he
not.
got 18? Is it 18 months?
He's
Is
got 2
it?
years left.
He's like 27, isn't
Yeah.
He is 27 as well, and Everton realistically again can't afford. And I know fans want short-term results, but Everton
Couldn't afford that, could we? It'd be stupid too, wouldn't it?
Can't buy, 27, 28-year-olds for 40 million or whatever it's going to cost. It's just not prudent.
No, not at all.
They might decide it is, but that's just my opinion.
I don't think ever. That's far too much. Mike Cosgrove says, straight to the point, who's winning the World Cup?
It's Spain for me. I don't think they will, but I think they're the easiest, most confident one for me. England could win it,
England could easily win it. Brazil, I'm saying, just because I want them to.
4 years ago, I said that England would win it, but I'm not as
England could easily. They've got the firepower to do it.
Isn't the draw against them now?
We've got poor connection, so that the stream.
No, I know. It keeps jumping.
We're back to where we should be.
So that you like that.
Yeah.
You're key in the stream there, rather than you're like.
No, I know. We'll just go with what's what.
As close as we are, closer now, yeah.
Anthony Young says, all right, fellas, job done for Croatia if it stays the same. Yeah, if it stays like this, they've done what they needed to do, haven't they? What's happened here? Hazard's fuming. If he's told you to wait, then you can't moan at him, can you?
It doesn't make me laugh the way you never in Premier League games you hardly ever see it, but in the World Cup there's always an obligatory shot of a female fan.
Always. Oh, every time it goes on,
Brazil absolutely love it, don't they?
They thrive on it, yeah. They thrive on it. Sam Cease, as the cross comes in, keeper.
Oh,
the goalie doesn't say it. Sam Cease says, I said Brazil a month before it kicked off and I'm sticking with them. Obviously hope England do it.
Good for Brazil, Danilo, though, because he's not great at right back, so, you know. Danilo, I don't really like him.
No.
Right back.
Brazil are strong. They are strong. They've got
back fit. They've
got the stuff up front as well. You know, they've got Richarlison, and they've got Rodrigo. They've got Vinny,
Gabriel,
Neymar, Gabriel, Jesus, Martinelli. They've got a bit like England actually.
A lot of Gabriels, a lot of Angels.
Oh, they love Gabriel. Oh, it's brilliant. Oh, Sousa, what a run! Good defender in the end, but now he's out of position.
Get back in. I want to see people sprinting.
And Trogan. Nice ball with the other foot. 0-0, 89th minute. There'll be an additional 6, I reckon. Batshuayi on as well. Bobby's gone full Everton v Crystal Palace. He's a good run for a Batshuayi.
He just know his feet's doing, but
no, it's got there. Not a good touch. Kept it alive.
That's
goal. Lukaku. Oh, is he messing?
That's 3 now.
Oh my God. There was no goalkeeper there.
Just fall into it.
Romelu Lukaku.
Just fall on it.
Has just missed an unbelievable sitter. He's not.
Back on now, yeah.
He's onside. No keeper. Oh my.
Did he try and take it to, well,
God.
Again though, the defender.
Why did he just put it in?
Because the defender, just watch the defender now.
No, mate. No. I'm swinging for that. I'm just swinging for that regardless. You swing for it. Oh my God. That was he's missed 3 sitters. 4 additional minutes. We played.
Maybe
20 seconds.
If they go out.
Wow. Wow.
I mean, she's lost the ball in the field. That's Doku, sorry. It's Doku.
3.5 minutes to go. Belgium are looking the more likely to win this now. Croatia look knackered.
Yeah, look knackered. They've done all the running the game, haven't
they could have put the game to bed before and they haven't.
Still trying to get a result in the other game. It's a good boner here.
What's the keeper doing? Bono was Adam May. There's a change.
From Ron. Formerly of Dinamo Zagreb.
Is that who it is?
Yeah, I love Romania.
This is. I'm sorry if he just swings anyway.
I just don't think he anticipated well enough.
No, but you've got to swing.
He didn't anticipate it well enough. He didn't set his body. He thought the defender was going to get
it. I always, and you look stupid sometimes because he had it away.
I agree.
Always go for it.
He should have sucked the chance.
Because if he misses, it hits you and get it.
He never anticipated at all. He just.
Oh my God.
He thought the defender was going to get a head on it and tried to chest it.
Yeah, that's crazy. 2.5 minutes to go.
Who's going to have to make something happen here?
I hope Croatia keep this 0-0 now.
Because he's got his right foot across it though.
Ball in again.
Oh,
Lukaku
again, he's missed.
What a tackle!
Roma's involved in everything.
Everything. He's going to get the winner here, isn't he? Because he's missed 80-12 sitters.
Oh, Doku's fighting for everything on the floor there.
That's it. Save the corner.
Oh, is that out?
Oh. Driven forward. Got to be won. Got to keep it, lad. Referee. Anthony Taylor doesn't want to know. Oh, and again. And now he does have to give it. Croatia have won a free kick 10 yards inside their own half. Yuri Tielemans clattered them and looks like he can't believe that the referee's given. Stay down, don't let him pick you up, mate. Oh, you got one each. Elbow in the face there from. Look at this now, Lukaku's going to finish it. Watch this for a tackle.
Right off his left foot, yeah.
See the way he's swinging there? That's what he should have done with the other one.
Just didn't anticipate well enough previously, though. That's...
You keep telling me he didn't anticipate it, but I'm saying he should have still swung for it. There's the flick on.
Sometimes Rom does strange things. Is he a natural striker? I would say probably not. He's goal scorer. He doesn't do the natural things a striker does.
No.
He's more of a get to his feet and he'll make something happen striker than he gets on the end of things.
He is strange, like he's a strange player for what he is. He's never been as good as when he was at us, though.
Well, do you know what they say?
Exactly.
It's just nothing will ever be the same.
On the line, that's gone out. 93 minutes and
Ball,
10 seconds. It's a Belgium throw in 10 yards inside the Croatian half.
So he's having like flashbacks to Everton with Rom costing games. I know he didn't cost us many games, but
FA Cup semi-final.
yeah.
Knock forward. West Ham at home 2-0 up. Clear. They're all imprinted on my brain. He won us a lot of games, to be fair. Oh, got to be one. That's another foul. Smash it, clear, lad.
Where's he going?
He's put it back to put Souza. Wrap your left foot.
There you go, wrapped it up. Yeah.
Done well. Got to be one
Second
again.
Ball.
Smash it, Lucas, smash it.
Right on the line, he's going away. He's
Go
away.
on, lads, you're in. Knock it and go. Knock it and go.
Go to the corner, go to the corner.
Corner flag.
Yeah, he's going to pass inside.
That's a great ball.
Oh, he's
Good
too
defending.
Slow.
Too slow. Good defending. In the end, it was Woodgate. That's it. Belgium are out of the World Cup. It's ended 0-0. Croatians couldn't believe it. Kevin De Bruyne, his last World Cup, I think. Unbelievable.
So Morocco top on 7
Munier's gone full
Croatia,
Marco
5
Materazzi.
points. Yeah.
Sat at the advertising boards for hours.
Yeah.
Morocco still 2-1 up.
Yep, and as we stand,
So they've won the group, even if there's an equaliser from Canada,
so they'll
Morocco.
play tonight's game. The winner, they'll play the second place team. And there we go. In Germany and Spain, there's no winner there for them, is there?
Sam C says it's Rom's fault they went out.
I think
I have to agree.
Well, it's not just down to one game, though, is it?
No, but he's had,
in this game
he's had 4 chances there. Room temperature water shorts says hello from the USA, enjoying the show. Hello, mate. Hope you're good. Mathew Fowler says Lukaku's gone full Man United semi-final here. Yeah, absolutely. Bob Holness, can I have a pee, please? Says, why is everyone banging on about Belgium? Croatia beat England not long ago. Media creaming over Belgium.
It's because everyone considered Belgium like one of the they got a golden generation. And unfortunately, they just...
Not happened, does it?
Not won the World Cup.
No.
Only one team can win the World Cup, so there's always going to be 3 or 4 big teams disappointed.
Like, I can say this now. As Martinez underachieved.
No and yes. Yes, because they had the talent to win it, but no, because he's got further than any of the Belgian managers before. I think, yes, because I don't think the 80s...
Belgium got to the semis in the 80s.
Yeah, Schifo, yeah. But no, consistently, though, they were best than under Wilmot, so he's took them further. They had Jan Koolmans and Enzo Schifo in the 70s, and, you know, what was his name, the goalkeeper, Paf.
Oh, Jean-Marie Pfaff, yeah.
So
I don't know, I look at that squad of players and I see a semi-final.
So who did they got beat by?
And then the quarters.
Who won the World Cup? France. Man to man, France are the better team.
They were a better side. Then in the Euros, they went out in the quarters. And
but even so, the Euros, the Italians just seemed destined to win it, didn't they?
Groups, though. Yeah.
No, because it comes from an end of a period. They should have got through the groups, no doubt about it. Roberto's underachieved in this World Cup, most definitely, but overall, it's like when you say it was Southgate underachieved. Not really, because we're getting to semis and finals. What more? There's only one team who can win it at the end of the day, and if you get into the right stages, then you always need a little bit of luck, and some managers don't get any luck.
They only won one game, and that was a game they didn't deserve to win against Canada.
Yeah.
You know. Carla says there were riots in Brussels the other day after they lost to Morocco. Imagine what it's going to be like tonight. The Blues says since Lukaku filled out, he's become too top heavy and lost most of what he was good at.
Could be fair.
It's
dietitian at Man United that caused that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know who it was. That's just what the rumour was.
Jay says it. Rom is great, but he never applied himself and developed and added to
I think he has
game.
developed as a player. I think if you watch him at Inter Milan, I know it's not the Premier League, but he was a much better player at Inter Milan than he was ever shown in England. He created lots of chances with Lautaro, Lincoln play. I think he actually really improved under Conte. I just don't think for a reason. Tuchel and him didn't mix. He's come back from an injury there. He's not sharp, so you know, leeway to Rom.
Yeah. Room temperature water short says, do you guys like any of the US players?
Yeah, do you like a fair few of the US players? Like Yunus Musa, I think Valencia player really good. Yeah. Tyler Adams, just energy.
Yeah.
Brendan Aronson's in the same energy. But Weston McKennie, energy. They're all good players. I think. Timothy Ware's not bad. Christian Pulisic at the right level's not bad. Yeah, they've got some good players. I think Gerrard's a decent, lower half, left back.
All right, yeah, not bad.
They probably need, if the US are going to become a contender, I think they're going to need a bit more quality, definitely in terms of
They've got no
centre
strikers,
forward.
though, have they? Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it.
so Josh Sargent ain't bad, but again, is he going to win you World Cup games? Maybe not.
I like Cade Cowell. He's not there.
He's not ready yet.
He's not ready, but he's one to
Ferreira's
look
a
out
young
for.
one they've got, and he's on the bench. He hasn't played in this World Cup.
They've got Cade Thingy as well.
Repatriate a striker or two.
What's his name? Cade. The other kid who's gone to.
Oh,
not
Caden Clark.
Caden Clark, who's gone to Germany, isn't he?
But Joe Scally, who's making off the bench for them, who can play right back.
Yeah.
You've got Brendan Anderson's brother, who's not bad as well. You've got some good players, US, and they've got a development system going now. There's different teams who seem to be developing players. Philadelphia, obviously the
Philadelphia are strong
and
now,
then the Dallas team have developed a fair few players as well, including Ferreira. So there's some really interesting players coming from the US.
Yeah.
Again, though, like with every team, you might be able to develop tons of midfielders, but you can't develop strikers. It's just one of those things.
Yeah. The Blues says didn't overachieve or under, just did okay.
Yeah, it's did all right, didn't they?
Okay. Belgium, Carlos's Belgium are ranked second in the world. That's why the media go on about them.
Honestly, don't ever look at the FIFA rankings, because I think Iran are in the top 20, aren't they? The reason the FIFA rankings, I think it was Poland, and I'm sorry, Poland out there if it wasn't you. One of them didn't play a friendly for 2 years to get a better seeding for a tournament purposely. So it can be gamed. The system can be gamed.
Yeah. A few you disagreeing with you. He hasn't underachieved.
People don't like Martinez, but as I say to you,
I don't like him.
If I said to you, he underachieved.
I love him as a fella because he's as a human being.
Yeah.
He was nice, right? Although when I spoke to a couple of the ex-players, they paint a very different picture of the person. But I think with that squad of players, I think
but is it guaranteed that were they that much better than everyone else? No, they weren't. So were they as good as France? Yes, but France won it.
But I've watched them in the Euros.
Did he get the best out of them? Did he get the best out of them? Maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but that's different.
Basically.
But I still think, in terms of where they got to, I think they did
Even
reasonably well.
I'll just wait till he finished.
Well, we'll just stay until we're just going to do probably another 15 minutes or so. It's only 5. All right, mate. Where are we here? Jay says, great stuff, lads. Thanks for all the chats. The Blue says, growth and age as well as diet did Lukaku. Some people don't get a man's body till it's 24-ish, whereas Rooney had it when he was 16.
Same to Rom.
Rom had it, didn't he? When you see him at Anderlecht,
he
that's
was unbelievable,
16.
yeah. Specimen, yeah.
See you, Paisy. See you next week. Have a good weekend. Yeah, Rom at 16 was incredible. Like, he was on man money. Huge. Where are we? Ruben says McKennie is a baller. I'd love to have him.
I think he's an Everton type. I mean, the three midfielders are Everton type players, aren't they? Hard-nosed working players, get around the pitch. I know we all love a tackle at Everton. That's what they are. And I think, you know me, I've always said to you that I think that Red Bull type style would really be beloved by Everton fans.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that'd be the ideal system for Everton. I think that's what I haven't seen enough full games in the 80s. We were a very pressing team in the 80s, weren't we? Yeah. You know what I mean? Worked hard front to back.
Gegenpress. Colin Harvey had been over in Germany, hadn't he, in 1918, done some coaching.
Yeah,
Watched it, brought it back, and had Everton gegenpressing before anybody, and that was the thing.
Well, yeah,
It should be called hunting in packs.
I remember people used to say, like, I think it's Graham Taylor, that's Watford pressing as well. So there was definitely teams in the 80s who pressed. It's not a newfangled thing.
No, but
do you know why it's more prevalent now?
It caused a stir, though, when Everton did it, because no one did it.
Yeah, but you know why people do it, why it's different now than it was then? It's the athletes that we've got now in football. Now then, you did have good athletes, but everyone pressed for Peter Reid. It was great as Peter Reid was. No athlete was he, Peter.
No.
And now you've got these super athletes, the pace of players.
Everton used to have 3 men round the ball.
Yeah, always.
So you got it 3 if you round and just take it. And it was a big thing. People saying, like, I don't know how you can't play against this. Don't forget, the way Everton flipped, we were playing in the same city as the best team in Europe, who kept the ball like Man City do now.
They do, yeah.
And we come from finishing in 7th to being better than them.
Yeah.
And I remember when we beat them, and it's out
yeah.
there, they turn around and after a Milk Cup final, like, these are coming for us. They knew.
Yeah.
And Everton were able to, and this is what you say now with Man City, how you can get round it, is you've got to come up with something. that does it, but it's got to be very much your own style. And Everton under Kendall and Harvey were able to do that. Everton turned into this team that were just machines after the ball, and no other team was doing that. Liverpool played a very specific type of football. Everton were a little bit like Liverpool are now, in Liverpool's best moments. Were like Liverpool, like when they won the league, that's what Everton were like in '85. It was go and win it back to front quickly, diagonals, lots of shot crosses, scored underdog goals.
I think you had players in that team that were quite specific. I'd roles, like you had Sheedy, great left foot, but then you had Paul Bracewell who could have diagonal from anywhere. Anywhere on the pitch. And then you had Trevor Steven, who's probably, I never watched Trevor Steven, but from what I read, is probably underrated by a lot.
Oh, massively.
I think.
And if it, if they'd been like in the Sky years, if Everton would have been that team, then heralded, people would be talking about Neville South would be undisputed. He was the best goalie ever lived. They'd be undisputed.
Was it? Yeah, I wasn't around, and it was sacrilege to question it. But obviously, Clements was a bit older than Neville. But
Clements was good.
They were both.
Shilton was good, but Southall was better.
Jennings
was good, yeah. But I mean, I never seen Patsy. Don't forget. That's the one. The end. I just caught the end of Clements.
Yeah,
really.
the one with the people Neville even says the Clements was. I think he was the one who said it was most comparative. He wouldn't say he's the best.
Clements was excellent.
That's right. Neville's not the type of person who.
He will never ever say it. Never. He just starts going, "Nah, I've done my job." Southall would make saves where you'd just go.
We'd catch you. No one catches it anymore.
But you'd look, you'd turn around and go, as if like, how has he just saved that? And to have a goalie. The only one it's come close to that, to being like that, was Pickford against Chelsea last year when it broke to Aspilicueta, and he saved the first one and got across where you went, oh my God, how's that not gone in? Neville was like that most. You'd turn around and go, my God. And when a striker had run through, I'd think he saved it. Every time, man, when it was Rush, he'd score. But in general, most people running through, you'd just think he saved it. Which was unbelievable, but Rush was a fucker. Rush loved us. Loved scoring against us. And that was what Nev was like. I remember I've said this before, but I remember going to Coventry in '87. Second game of the season, we won 1-0. Cotty scored and we got back.
He made a great save that day.
He made about 6.
Wasn't a famous one that day,
though? But he saved the penalty from Brian Kilcline, who basically put like thunder power on it on times 100. He could hit the ball like a rocket, and Southall pushed it
like a Julian Zix type,
harder.
Right.
Brian Kilcline had curly hair down here, big moustache and beard, looked like he'd kill you.
Like John Walker.
Worse than Walker. But Greg Downs, who had the original leg in the nest, left back from Coventry and Norwich. But
is this the team that won the FA Cup? Coventry's team that won the FA Cup?
That season, wasn't it? Yeah. So it was that day, the FA Cup holders.
Right.
So we went there, we were league champions, they were FA Cup holders. And they had the free kick on the edge of the box and it got it. And Greg Downs hit it and just went, because it was in the top corner, goal. And Southall just went
I've seen that
from nowhere and flicked it over the bar. And Downs
wasn't the biggest keeper ever either, was he?
6 foot, wasn't he? 6'1".
Yeah.
And Greg Downs said in a thing, said, I've never seen a save like it. He said it was in. You just put your arms up because he did it that hard. And he was unbelievable. So and there's been brilliant goalies. Schmeichel was unbelievable. Petr Cech, brilliant. David Seaman, fabulous. But Southall was just Alison Ederson now, very good. But they're not at that level. Well, yeah, maybe slightly, marginally. He's ruined it. He's not now shaving that, having his face the way he's got it now with the moustache. He's now made himself worse than Danny Ward in my eyes. But there you go.
Goalkeeping's hard these days at the ball.
Oh yeah, of course. The ball moves and everything. Yeah, of course.
We had people who could hit the ball back then. The difference.
Yeah. Luke says Martinez is actually pathetic. The fraud shout has never been so true.
Do you know what? I'm not Roberto's biggest fan when he was Everton, but I'm not. It's the international manager.
Oh yeah, right, listen. I hope he.
I don't like.
I'd give him another.
I like the World Cup.
I'd give him another 10 years as Belgium manager.
I like the World Cup and I like the Euros, but overall,
I'm the same as you, mate. If there was like a qualifying game on, I'd never watch. No interest whatsoever.
And from a scouting perspective, I never watch the World Cup.
No.
It's just not the right environment to watch players in. Small, short sample size. Usually not playing in the same position or the same role as they do for the team. You're not seeing the player the natural abilities.
No, I mean, I love it just because there's that many games. It's a little bit.
I love it as a spectacle.
And you can just watch it, can't you? No, you couldn't for your work. You're not getting much out of this because players. Morocco won the other game, by the way, 2-1 and won the group, which he wouldn't have. No one would have said that going into this, would they? That Morocco would win the group. But yeah, it's a. When you look at it, you just think you couldn't get much out of this because players who
We all know all the players now. Speaking to an agent, a famous agent from back in the day, and he said used to be that he'd get on the phone after the World Cup because they'd see these players and go, "I'll get, I want this player," and then he'd go and speak to the agents in their country and bring them over here. Now everyone knows all these players already because of White Scout and stats, data, StatsBomb, whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah.
All these players are already known. There's very few, maybe your Qataris, maybe your Saudi Arabians, because those leagues aren't really watched generally. I know people do watch them sometimes, but the rest of them, most of them play in Europe or the MLS. You know these players are, you know what they're capable of, you know the levels already.
Yeah.
Now, if you're watching a player and he goes into the World Cup, you think, he plays in a league, maybe a league I don't really love watching him in, but I'll watch him in this. That's just adding context. But based solely off the World Cup, no, you can't sign players as Everton has seen before. With players.
That's the thing. I mean, do you think?
Mo Bezic being the main one, Mr. Cliff's turn on the halfway line.
Poor Mo.
Ran into two players.
Poor Mo. Do you think there will be any? Do you think there will be any clubs going after players in this though in January?
Yeah, Gakpo. I think Man United are well into Gakpo, aren't they? Whether I've got, I like Cody Gakpo. I think he's got great striker of the ball. He can dribble. Just like to see him in games sometimes where when he's not going well for him. I like to see him do more in games. But do you know what? Everyone's different. I look for different things in players. And for me, Man United need to be more. Always been a team of hard work and 90-minute players. That was what they were best like under Ferguson. I think they've gone away from that at times. By having stars at times now. I think they need to get back to that. Maybe Ten Hag will be more comfortable with a Gakpo, knows what he can get out of him, because obviously he's countrymen. We know PSV and Ajax different systems, but he'll know him from his own country and be able to try and get the best out of him. Maybe it'll work. I don't know, but I'd be scared paying £60 million for Cody Gakpo. I'll be honest, especially when a year ago you could probably got him for 25.
Well, Southampton had the agreement in the summer for 25, and he wouldn't go.
Yeah.
So
you're talking because he's got 16 goals and assists so far this season, plus one in the World Cup. I don't know.
If you heard Everton were getting him for 40 million, what would you think? Would you?
I just think that's a lot. Don't get me wrong. I think, does he improve Everton straight away? Yes, he probably does because he can score goals.
Yeah.
But for £40 million, because you get two players that do the same as Gakpo, maybe.
Yeah.
It depends how you feel about him. I'm just not.
No,
it makes me uncomfortable, Cody Gakpo, like for that amount of money.
Yeah, the only reason I'm saying that is because obviously Everton wouldn't pay that for him anyway. But I was just saying.
They're saying then. Even Rafael's got things he needs to work on, but he's similar. He's 21, 22. He's got things he needs to work on.
Everton couldn't get him now, though, could they?
No, it's about timing with everything. There's a time for Everton to get players. There's a time for Brighton to get players, whoever it may be. What Brighton tends to do is be first to market. So they've signed players like a Caicedo, and they got them before another. He went to Benfica. He ends up a £40 million player like Enzo Fernandez is now at Benfica. They have to get in the market before he goes there, so that's why they tend to buy 4 or 5 players for the total of 30 million and hope 2 out of the 5 work. Yeah, because that's more value than paying 30 million for one player for them, and they'll be probably able to sell the others what they pay for them anyway. It's a good strategy there, but that's for a team that maybe has got the same aspirations as an Everton, same expectation. Everton fans in its club's history expect to be a certain place, so it's probably more difficult for us to go, let's go and sign all these little wonder kids from everywhere, because it might work out well. You never know, but then there's also that risk where it might not work, and then you get that tension coming in. And your managers at Everton, because of the way we've hired and fired as well, managers tend not to want to take risks because the job's under threat constantly.
Yeah,
and that's an influence on that is a big influence on how managers operate. Their comfortability in jobs you can make. You can take risks when you're not under pressure, but if you're constantly under pressure, you end up going safe generally. That's the byproduct of how our clubs operate.
Is there an opportunity though, say for a Frank Lampard now, just use him because he's obviously our manager and stuff. Is there an opportunity to buy 1-on-1 though?
Yeah,
so one for now, one for the future.
Frank, for Frank, I think he spoke about it right. I think the way he's framed it is that we are a team in transition, which is smart from Frank, and we are a team in transition. But I think if you frame it right, the expectations, I think that was an issue, right through the Machiri at times. I think that we because of what was said originally, I think we've held them to that, and maybe we shouldn't in more recent years held them to that. Because I know because it's past now, that time's past. And I think we are a team in transition. But I also think Frank's cognizant of the fact that if we do end up down where we ended up last season, then he's probably his job's going to be questioned. Whether that's right or wrong, that's up to the board to decide, I guess. But for him, it would be wise for him to take a couple of younger players and say, well, this is what we're working on now. You know, it's going to get better in the future because, you know, it's the same in anything. When new academy managers come into clubs, they tend to go, everyone's rubbish, and they bring their own players and go, I need 4 years to turn this around. That's what they tend to do because that's how you get your longevity in jobs. And I think if you're going to come, when you come in and spend a load of money like a David Moyes does this season at West Ham, the expectation rises, and then you expect that if you don't do it, then that's where the pressure comes from. If you buy a couple of young players, and you know maybe your players ready now, but you can turn and say, well, you need to give me time because I've got this going on, and that sometimes alleviates pressures on manager.
Yeah, because I mean it's
like,
that.
Go on.
Oh, go on.
No, I was going to say, it's in the NFL, when general managers come in, or new coaches, they come in and say, I want to draft a quarterback, because that usually gives them 3 years, not as much anymore, but it used to give them 3 years because you've got that time to develop a player.
Yeah.
And it's similar now, if you're developing a team, you want to say, well, this is what we're developing, and you need this amount of time, so that's maybe what Frank's probably looking or asking to do, really.
It is difficult, because it's out...
You've got to balance both sides. Really.
Exactly, yeah. You do look at it and go, well, how quickly can I turn... You know, if you come into Everton now as a manager, and it's like, how quickly can I turn this team into what I want to do?
But you could turn a team, right? This is where it comes in. A manager comes in, say Rafa Benitez, and he goes, I want to sign like 5-30-year-olds. You probably will turn the team around short term. Long term, when those players age, you're going to struggle, you won't be able to replace them. But Everton also, FFP-wise, like with, you know, Alan, Decore, and James Rodriguez, you struggle. It's that balance. Yes, you do get that 59-point season, but then after that, then when those players get older, the form injuries come into play. You lose a James Rodriguez, you know, for whatever reason. That leaves you short, and that ends up in this situation where now it's always a balance. Like, so we've signed a Tarkowski and a Cody, and that will see us through maybe, you know, a couple of seasons or 2-3 seasons, whatever it may be. But then you've also got to balance that in other areas of the team. Some teams like to have 5 assets on the pitch, developing to sell all the time. I know Everton don't want to be seen as a develop to sell club, but in a way we have to be. Because everyone has to be, bar Man City, Liverpool, Manchester United, probably Arsenal. I think even Tottenham still to an extent need to be, because their revenues are great, but they're still way off what the other teams are, so they still need to balance the books all the time.
I think you should anyway, because ultimately, I don't believe you should always go back to the begging bowl first and foremost, see your owner and go, can you put some that's self-sufficiency.
Well, that's what some managers are. That's how some managers have always operated. You know, Sam Allardyce always wanted to bring new fresh blood in, and don't be wrong, you know, working around teams and players always players love new players coming in, different standard, giving players a boost. This new player, he's going to do good, because people want to do well. They really care. I know often people accuse teams of not caring, but they do, because they like new players coming, because it helps them improve as a player, gets them a new contract, because the new strikers coming, they can feed that striker, get themselves, you know. If Kevin De Bruyne was, you know, a team with no strikers, well, you know what I mean. He's not going to get a brand new contract, is he? Because he supplies those strikers, and Man City scores so many goals. He's valuable to them, and that's. And I think Everton bringing in good players will give the players a boost, definitely.
It is. It's really.
It's a balance. It's a fine balancing act, and like, you know, it's about planning and strategy and processes. I think that's what you know. I've got to drill into people.
It is so difficult, isn't it? Because
and it takes time to perfect as well. You at the end of the day, you can have, for every 5 good windows, you might have 3 bad windows. It just depends. That's why January tends to become a loan window, because people don't like to take as many risks.
It's the players there, though, when you're looking in January for loans. It's like, it's difficult, isn't it?
It depends what you think, though, because there is players out there that you go, do you know what I thought in the summer? That was bad recruitment by them. Not because he's a bad player. He just doesn't fit that manager or that system. If we brought him into our system, could we shine him up? Yeah, there's players like that out there.
Yeah.
You know, look at Atletico Madrid. You know, Atletico Madrid, you know, got a particular system. I'm not saying we can get anyone from there because they're all too much money, but you know, they bring players in like a Matheus Cunha. Does he suit them? Not really, because he's more of a freewheeling, you know, player who plays off the front. You know, if he went into a team that allowed him to be Matheus Cunha, would he be better? Yes, he would be, and that happens, really. There's players out there like that. Steven Pienaar, great example. Mikel Arteta, another great example for Everton. Those type of players we brought in from clubs where they hadn't done so well because they didn't suit. But Moyes saw something in them where they think, I can get something out of these lads. Now maybe he was just taking a flyer on both of them because they were both high name play, you know, big name players in terms of the potential when they were kids. But they worked out massively, didn't they? If you think about it.
But I do think that's what you have to do. We have to be very.
You have to look at all opportunities. There's different opportunities, for different things. You know, there's a player who you think, we're gonna have to take him now because we're not gonna get out together. So there's tons of opportunities like that.
I definitely think there's players that Kane says the Piv, the legend.
Thank you.
I think definitely there is players who Everton could at bigger clubs who aren't getting games. I mean, you know.
Again, where Everton have gone wrong in the past, maybe with that, not wrong.
And loans, I'm talking about, by
loans,
the way.
yeah.
Them,
You know, even Donny van de Beek didn't really work out last season because he wasn't the right type of player for it. Maybe for an Everton, in what we needed at the time.
He's not been the right type of player for Man United.
No, he's not, and he's a system player. Particularly, he works in a particular system. It's like Frankie de Jong. Do I think he works in other systems? I'm not too sure because he's really good at doing the Ajax Barcelona job at that midfield type role. Whereas if you brought him to Manchester United, maybe under the Ten Hag, because that's the system, but then you've got the league variables on there. It's an interesting one. But no, I think there's definitely opportunities. It's about bringing the right characters in, the right fits in, the right people. I haven't got goals. This lad's had goals everywhere else. He might have scored goals at Man United, but he's only played so many number of minutes, for example. I'll bring him in. You might be able to plug him in there, wherever it may be.
I wonder if he could get Sancho.
I love Jadon Sancho. I think he's just
not on loan. I'm talking because they obviously
never selling him. Yeah, but
they're getting Gakpo. If they get Gakpo,
then it opens things up, doesn't it? Then, or it might be an Alanga who goes out on loan rather than
Alanga's one.
Sancho. But yeah,
Alanga's one who improves Everton just with the directness of him.
I mean, pace kills, doesn't it? I think we've got two pacey players now. I'd like to see them make better decisions at times. I think I'd just play Anthony Gordon every game. I know people have fell out with him since the summer, but for me, he's one of your biggest assets you play in every game.
Well, if you're looking at going, well, you know what? If he wants out, we'll try and sell him anyway.
He's got to show consistency. The more goals he scores, the higher the price goes. You know what I mean? That's. And even so, if he's going to be an Everton player long term without moving, we want him to be better. We always want every player to be better. I know fans have got the favourites and the non-favourites. If everyone was playing great, Everton would be top of the league, wouldn't they? Or close to whatever. You know what I mean?
I wonder if they'll go back for Breuer, because obviously I know he's just signed a new deal, but he's still moaning because he's not getting enough time.
He'll only be a loan moaning.
They want.
I think he's playing more.
Well, they want thingy, don't they? Though they want. They're getting Nkunku signed, doesn't he? So he's coming.
He's a 10, he's not a striker, but yeah.
But they want thingy as well. They want Lau in January, don't they?
Yeah,
so they got Rafael Lau in January as well. They've got Aubameyang.
I don't think Brozier would be a nice take because he's obviously offers something different. Strong runner, works hard, big, strong. The only he's not guaranteed goals.
No, he's not.
But if you got 6, that's more than Everton are getting now. So you know what I mean. But it's, I think again, but they might be the need. But you take a Brozier or you take a. I don't even think he's out there. But
what's Luka Jovic doing nowadays?
Smashing up a Fiorentina, isn't he? Sadly, he's doing well, yeah. But then he's already wrongly spoke about wanting the move back to a bigger club. And you're like, come on, Fiorentina's a huge club. Not the biggest club in the world, but they are a great club. Batistu's are playing for them. Rui Costa. But no, he's already made noises that he wants to go to a bigger club. But he has to do. He have to perform. Any of these players, you want big moves. Whether you're Anthony Gordon, whether you're a Luka Jovic, you have to perform to get big moves.
Got him, haven't you? Yeah. Listen, it's difficult. James says we're going to finish now, but James says get Tim Weah or someone like that. Though after this World Cup, I imagine Lille will be less amenable to give
Lille are very expensive to deal with. I think you've got to sign them before they go to Lille. In some cases, we saw with Onana, he was a Hamburg, played start 11 games for Lille. We spent £34 million on them. Good investments. But if you could get them, you get 10 for 4 Onanas, 5 Onanas for the same price. That's what you want to do, wouldn't you? So trying to find those players and be again frank, willing to take the risk on a player like that is what Everton probably need to do.
It still winds me up. Obviously, Sangari is a big one. But we've had but what I'm saying is...
But the problem is with Sangari's agree, but Marcel, who's from now got him, didn't believe he was right. And now Marcel's got a different eye than I have and you have, obviously. But me and you, and obviously, thought he would have been good for Everton. We probably still do. Obviously now well too expensive for Everton.
Of course, yeah.
But it's...
All right, Lucas Duarte.
Well, he's gone to Salzburg. It's going to cost loads of money now.
But we could have got him in the summer. No, these are players, that's what I'm saying.
There's always opportunities out there.
We could have got these players. Sangari, I'm saying that because he could have got him for 8 million.
Yeah.
He could have just sat on our bench, 6'4".
Yeah, but this is the problem. At the time at Everton, do you remember when Brands first came in? It was, we need to get into Europe. Was Sangari ready to get Everton Europe? Probably not. Would he have been good? Probably, yeah. But I think that's... And again,
but we end up paying 20 million for Alan.
It's not just the director of football. Remember, the owner has to
owner.
go, well, that excites me, I'm going to put my money down on that, and sometimes that doesn't happen.
But then stretch it a bit, and stretch your money a bit, and pay 4 million down payment for him, and then
agree,
pay you 20 million for Alan.
I agree. You know, I said this at the time.
No,
It's
no.
one of those where there's loads of different factors in our players' signs. Sometimes the owner wants a player, and at the end of the day, the owner gets that player. Yeah. I'm not saying that's happened at Everton, I'm sure it has, but you know.
Of course it's happened at Everton. I'll say it, you don't need to say it. Right, we will leave it there. It's ended Croatia 0, Belgium 0. Belgium crash out of the groups. No one thought that. Morocco beat Canada 2-1. Morocco won the group. I don't think many people would have had them down to win the group when the World Cup kicked off. But it's been entertaining, even though it was a 0-0. It was still a decent game. Romelu Lukaku missed 4 good opportunities, and I'm sure that will give him some sleepless nights, fluffing his lines there a little bit. But it happens, doesn't it? So there you go. A huge thanks to everyone who's watched. Huge thanks to everyone who give the video a like. Thank you very much for subscribing. We're almost on 70,500 subscribers now, so thank you very much for that. Big thanks to Andy for coming in as well. We'll be back tomorrow. What games are they, Ned? No. I'll have a look now, very quickly. We'll be back for the 3 o'clock game. There is games tonight. Costa Rica, Germany, Japan, Spain tonight. Who's it tomorrow?
Cameroon, Brazil. Oh, that's 7 o'clock. So it's Ghana, Uruguay, and South Korea, Portugal.
Oh, Ghana, Uruguay. Belter of a game. So there you go. We'll be back tomorrow for those watch-alongs. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button on the way out. Subscribe if you haven't, and we'll see you later. Bye.